Welcome to the Stretch Run Preakness edition. I'm Chris Walsh. We have live racing from Pimlico, Gulfstream Park, Santa Anita Park, Monmouth Park, Golden Gate, and Woodbine. We will be here with you through the Preakness. We also have a contest today on horse players. I'll drop the link in the chat. It starts at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time and concludes with the Preakness, $10 per entry. Today I'm joined by the champ, the 2022 NHC champion, David Harrison. David, how are you doing today?
Okay, good. I'm doing well, Chris. How about yourself?
I can't complain. It's a little warm, but it's that's the way it kind of goes this time of year. So we'll get some rain tomorrow and whatnot, but that won't affect any of our.
Well, I'm in South Florida also, and I think it's about 95 here. I was just at the beach this morning, getting a little before it got too hot. So yeah, it's looking good. So I'm at the South Florida Handicapping Central headquarters here. So happy Preakness Day, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Joe, Alan, Tony, Chuck, Buffalo Mike. We got Wiz here. Bluegrass Dan. Scott Free is, I believe, at Los Alamitos. All right, let's see. Where are we at today? We've got, let me get rolling here. We've got a bunch of races that we have that we can cover in between Pimlico and whatnot. Pimlico is our next race coming up, race 9 in 11 minutes. I did drop the link in the chat there, so if you want to join, go for it. We have about 27 entries in right now. That will close up. Oh, some people have joined. First place is up to $126, so not bad for your $10. 2 entries is the max. Okay, let me find my EquinEdge screen, and then let me make sure I have my picks ready too, because that would suck not to get those in. All right, taking a quick look at the tracks here, which I always like to do, and look and see where the win percentages are at. Louisiana Downs, the EquinEdge's top win percentage is 75%. Churchill, the Scotty picks are at 75%. Hawthorne, win percentage at 70. I haven't seen numbers quite that high. Same thing with Gulfstream at 50. All right, let's get over to Pimlico. Race 9. All right, David, we got what do we got here? A mile on the grass. I don't think the turf is in very good shape. I mean, it's in good shape. It's just soft, right?
Yeah, which makes this race a little trickier than it originally panned out, at least in my eyes, because when I handicapped this race yesterday, I was all over the 7 Crystal Quest, the Live Oak Plantation horse, and the reason was that once they found turf for this horse back on January 28th, this horse popped from the outside post at 18-1, and subsequently has not taken a step backward. Another back to the synthetic, a win by a neck at almost 4-1, and then was at even money, a small stakes, 100K stakes at Tampa, and got up to win in that race. And this horse is in good form. However, now the great equalizer is we have a soft turf course, so we don't know how this horse is going to respond to a soft turf. So it makes it a little difficult in my eyes. But the key is I didn't see anybody that had soft turf form either. So with that in mind, the horse that I'm keying on here is the 7, and I am also going to use the 12. So to me in this race, I was focused on primarily the 7, and going to use the 12 underneath.
All right.
And hopefully they handle the soft turf. I mean,
it did run on good turf out there at Tampa, but Tampa typically doesn't get really soft. It does.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick look at the race simulator.
Sure.
So it's got the 5 in the lead. Looks like a pretty easy lead. Then they start closing. There are 12 down there at the bottom, making up good ground as well. I mean, we may find that some of these turf races will be won by horses closer to the pack. But your 7, David, is the winner ahead of 1.
Right. Well, I hope the race develops just like the simulator does, because that'll work for me, obviously. And the thing is, with the horse that the simulator has on the lead is speediness. First time this horse is trying turf, and I don't really particularly love the turf breeding on this horse. So it's a toss that you'll have a good pace. So hopefully. You know, like I said, that's the X factor, the soft turf course.
Yeah, and I think it was Buffalo Mike was talking about the 3 that closed really well as well. So if we go back to the first call, the second call, the third call, you can really see that the 3 makes a good 2 lengths there. And then as I get in the stretch a little more and into the finish, is flying as well. That is, of course, it's currently 10-1 on the morning line, 10% on the win percentage there. So that could be one also to use effectively. We do have the Shield here, bronze horse to watch, top win, top GSR, and is the EE second pick at 3-1,
Right.
Also top GSR.
Yeah, the thing about the 3, Massif, is this horse has no speed, right? So this horse has no positional speed whatsoever. So this horse really has to have a pretty aggressive pace to chase into, and where the 7 horse, you know, has reverted to a good form with the with going to turf, but that also might coincide with the blinkers, right? So back the first race this horse won, January 28th, there's blinkers on, Lasix on. So this horse, to me, has a little more positional speed where it can be closer to the pace and make a run. So that's why I favored the 7 over the 3.
Brittany and Sheldon have been doing well together, so I also wouldn't discount that.
No, they're definitely on the Maryland circuit. Absolutely.
Yeah. Looks like they're heading out on the track. It says we've got 5 minutes to post there. While we're waiting, why don't we just, since we have a couple of minutes to go here, why don't we flip over just for fun to Woodbine and see if we can see anything here. Race 5, maiden optional claimer, 25K fillies and mares.
And before we do that, I just want to respond to Eric R. Eric, we're on the same page. Is the 5 a lock in race number 10? Yes, absolutely. The corporate power is my lock of the day, and I was impressed with the second at the Big A against the Chad Brown horse. It had a perfect trip, but just couldn't get up. It looked like it was a speed favoring track early that day. And I had told Scotty that the day we were watching that race that corporate power is my Belmont horse. So if this horse runs well, may go to the Belmont. So yeah, I've singled in the horizontal plays that I have. I singled the 5 corporate power in the 10th race.
Excellent. All right. Thanks for answering that. Let's, like I said, take a look at this Woodbine race here. We'll just go to the calls here real quickly. Looks like the horse on the lead, that is the gold horse to watch here. 5 of the algorithms lining up, top pace, top GSR. And ends up a winner over the 3. So it looks like it could go chalk here. The 5 is the long shot, Shameless Affair. A lot of these horses obviously coming off of layoffs, just doing normal works and whatnot. So let me see where they're at here. They're going to the gate.
And another fresh face here off the one start last season is Frackamore. Just
Good to see you,
right.
Oldie, and aloha.
Secret Load.
Hey, Oldie.
Ready to get back in the irons.
I'm
It's still out Frackamore.
I'm wearing a Tiki Bar and Grill shirt
is
from
not in Lost Cause as the start is about to be effected. The line along Frackamore. This field is all in. Locked up. Off their race and pretty much from the outside of the rail as they began and going fast. Not a Lost Cause has gone to the front from Shameless Affair, and a Sting for Love coming fast on the inside to second. As Yell is in the center to third. They've come away as a group. About 4 lengths away came Secret Load, and back to the tail Frackamore, and on the inside flip-flopping fast. A Sting for Love on the inside has gone through to be in front. About a half. Not a Lost Cause keeps up on the outside to stay right handy with this leader, putting the pressure on. They're 2 in front of Aziel. 1 away, Shameless Affair on the inside, flip-flopping fast. Frackamore the center and Secret Load the outside. Racing past the 5/16 and going clear. Not a Lost Cause took over. Aziel moving up, a Sting for Love giving ground. Wider, Shameless Affair and trying to run for the back. Secret Load. Frackamore racing ungenerously behind, flip-flopping fast, and Not a Lost Cause has snuck away by 2.5 to Aziel. On the outside, Shameless Affair trying to gun home after the pair of them. Out in front, Not a Lost Cause, and inside the final furlong leads by 3. Shameless Affairs run to second, but Not a Lost Cause is going away with a nice first up win, and Not a Lost Cause scores by 2 or 3 lengths. Second home, Shameless Affair. Third is Secret Load, and fourth as.
All right.
Well, you got a decent price for second, so the exacta, you get a little value out of the exacta here.
Yeah. All right. Getting ready to go to the gate here.
Charles B., I believe this race is on the turf, not on the dirt. They did not take this race off the turf. They kept the 2-horse in here for an awful long time. So when I was looking at making my picks, I'm like, why is this 2-horse in? Are they going to take this off the turf? If they had taken this race off the turf, it would have probably scratched down to a 5-horse field, and a 2 would have been 2 to 5. But so no, we're a soft turf. Scott. Yes, you read my mind. I am absolutely pumped up, looking forward to going to the historic Belmont Stakes at Saratoga, my favorite racetrack. Yeah, I can't wait. Three weeks from today. And in the back of my mind, I'm hoping that Mystic Dan does win the Preakness, even though it'll cost me some money because I don't have him on top. But it would just make things, the atmosphere so festive and joy. I mean, that place is going to be nuts without a Triple Crown on the line. But if there's a Triple Crown on the line, I got maybe 10 or 12 people that want me to that I may need to sneak in. I know where actually there's a little hole in the fence. Don't tell anybody though. That's between you and me.
All right. We'll keep that under wraps.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, this is the last Preakness at Pimlico with the current grandstand. So it will be completely destroyed, including everything on the backside, and be completely rebuilt. So
right.
They're going to have it there next year under some temporary seating, and then it will be at Laurel for at least a year, maybe 2.
At Laurel, right.
Yeah. And then Laurel will be redeveloped. Yes,
and then when they have it at Laurel, I'll make plans to go to Laurel. I'm not a big fan of the dilapidated grandstand at Pimlico. I mean, it's all well and good, but the last time I was at the Pimlico was probably at the Preakness, maybe 15, 18 years ago. And I got caught up in the debauchery, and I don't remember too much of the race. I don't know why. So it was just, I wasn't that impressed. I mean, obviously historic, it's downtown. I'm an Aqueduct fan over Pimlico, that's for sure. But I always loved Pimlico Day, Preakness Day. But it should be interesting when they go to Laurel.
Yeah, it's a completely different meet outside of the last few days. That's right. For sure. All right, looks like we are getting ready to go to the gate. Let me get the audio rolling here.
Right, so my plays are 7, 12, and just so the listeners know, I got a double from the 9th to the 10th of 7 5 double with corporate power. That's one of my major plays.
All right, just remember, if you're in the contest, get your picks in. They will lock when the gates are closed.
Okay, and it is live, so you just have to pick this 9th race first. Yeah.
Yep.
Good luck. Good luck, everybody.
Horses racing starting gate. Loading in directly in front of the turf side terrace here at Old Hilltop. Massif. Speediness. Trying the turf.
Yeah, Charles, people have been complaining about that all day.
Uptown.
That leaving the MTOs in, and then the
Crystal Quest.
the earlier scratch that affected 2 pick 5s. Certainly not their best day. Perhaps they should have, when they rebuilt this place, they should put a dome over it.
Echo Lane, Abramar.
It always seems to rain on Preakness Day.
Fulminio.
It certainly seems to do that, doesn't it?
5-2.
Doesn't bother me. I like an off track.
They're off.
All right.
Murphy. Takeo wasting no time, using speed right to the front. But Speediness, Jamie Nespar and Jamie Rodriguez are hustled up there too.
Hey, well, we didn't have the 11.
Going to develop early.
Yeah, we got a pretty good pace here.
Down settles in
Yeah.
fourth. Here's Abramar in 5th position and Crystal.
I like to look for a kickback here on the turf course to see how bad things are.
Right. And in our turf, I prefer my horse to be on the outside. I don't like where the 7 is along the rail on a soft turf course.
No.
Takeo takes back a little bit in the 2nd spot as Naptown is comfortable in 3rd position in the early stages. Bucket Dreamer on the outside in the clear. Back to Abramar is traveling along in 5th position, and Crystal Quest is pent up down to the inside there. Crystal Quest is inside, needs a little bit of racing room, and Fulminio is racing out in the clear. Fulminio out 3 deep as ahead for the far turn run. Massif to the back of the pack, and Echo Lane trails the field. Half mile 51.
Slowed down a little bit, huh?
Yeah, they did.
Speediness from Takeo as they round the far turn. About 3 furlongs left to go. And in the meantime, Bucket Dreamer is 3rd. And the far outside there.
The 7's got nowhere to go.
Fulminio, Massif gaining some ground for the back of the pack. In the meantime, Crystal Quest is saving ground with a quarter to go at Pimlico. Speediness confronted by Takeo. The outside set down is Fulminio. Fulminio center of the course. Now charging right to the lead. Speediness. Crystal
7.
Quest trying to quicken up one off the inside. Down to the last furlong, and it's Fulminio and Flavian Pratt in front by 3. A gang of horses. Here comes Abramar on the far outside. Down to the inside is Crystal Quest, but Fulminio is clear. Fulminio does it by 3 in the James W. Murphy. From Crystal Quest and Abramar.
Okay, I had it reverse order. I did box the exacta, but I prefer the 7 to be on top. But yes, okay, so I'm still alive, and I believe the 12, Chris, was the favorite, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Which I always like to have my 4-1, obviously, but that'll work.
It's a decent start there. Yeah, Tony, the 10 would have been super. Let me present. I'm going to have to do this today. I'm without our virtual machine. All right. So looks like next on the docket, David, is going to be Gulfstream Park Race 6.
Gulfstream Race 6.
Get over there. We had a maiden special weight here on the dirt. Track is on fire. So let me run through the race sim here. We got 5 minutes. There's the first call. Looks like a pretty good contentious pace up top. And then the 6 goes on with it. The 4 takes over and runs away from them all. Top pick, 39%. Currently getting 4-1 on Big Bouquet of Roses. looks to be working well. Hasn't really shown up on anything recently, so probably just doing easy gallops and things like that. Do you have anything here that you you liked? Was it a race you thought was kind of shaky, or what were your thoughts?
Yeah, not particularly. I'm not. This is a race I probably, with all things being equal, would avoid playing. But I think what I mean, if I was going to use a win wager here, I think I take a shot with the 6 over the 4, only because LS Queen only race was in November on the synthetic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now it goes to the dirt for the first time, so we don't know how. Maybe this horse will like dirt better. Puts Lasix on, so we have a few changes, and also drops from a maiden special weight. This is a Florida, yeah. So it's a Florida bred race. It was a maiden special weight. You into a maiden special weight here, but the 4. Even though a Florida bred was in open company maiden 50. So I don't know what the comparison is, but I will give a chance to the 6, that the 6 may improve switching from the Tapeta to the dirt. And I get a little bit of a better price, right? So what do we have live on the 6 horse second choice, I would think, right?
Yeah, the 6 is 6 to 1 right now.
6 to 1 I'll take. So I'll take the chance that the 6 may show some improvement. It was working okay. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with using that horse. So the way I would approach that, especially if I was in a contest, that say if this was a mandatory race, I would probably look for a little value with the 6.
Okay, fair enough. They are getting coming out and making their way out to the track. We've got about 3 minutes there, so while we look at that,
we also have Aqueduct going off at the 7th race. I know we can't show that live, and I am on the 5 Kafra.
Okay, we'll do a quick race sim for those folks out there.
They're just off right now. I think the 5 was the lone speed, and the 5 is going to the lead.
Okay. Looks like we closed with 30 entries, so thanks everyone for joining the contest. I'll update those as we go along. And then shortly after this Gulfstream race, David, we will have Monmouth Park.
Okay.
On the grass there, no weather up there today, I don't think.
They always have weather. It's just maybe I think it's nice weather today. Looks like a 2-horse race at Aqueduct coming down the stretch.
Yeah. Your horse and another one, or?
Yeah, 5 and the 4. And well, the 2 is making a move. It's going to be a tight one. Yeah, this is it. Well, 5's holding on. Drew about a length, and it looks like the 5's got the better of the 4.
All right.
All right. Okay, we got a 2 to 1 now. Again, it's a favorite, but that'll work. And so that was that was a single in a horizontal wager I have, so that's good.
You've got you're playing a pick 5 and a pick 6 there today, or just a pick 6?
I got to remember what I'm in a pick 6 that I'm out of, and I'm in a pick 5 that I'm alive with Kafra as the single.
Okay. All right. Well, you're moving on. That's good. All right. Let's take a look at while we're waiting on Gulfstream, and if you would just keep me honest there as we get closer. But let's take a look at this turf race here. Looks like it could be something fun. The favorite is 3 to 1. There's co-choices there. The 2, which was the top pace horse, is the one on the lead. Also the long shot with the 8 rolling down at the end. A head winner over the 4. Self-confident. Still a maiden, coming up to Monmouth for Shug and Sammy. Thoughts here, David?
Yeah, I did look at this race yesterday, and I couldn't really get much of a handle on it. As far as Monmouth is concerned, I go to Monmouth at least probably a half a dozen times a year, mostly for the great tournament NHC qualifiers they have that Brian Skirker runs, and they're affordable. Usually they're $300, which is great. But the issue is, sometimes it's a difficult track to handicap. It's kind of a lot of people call Parks a quirky track. Monmouth, I love the atmosphere there. It's sometimes can be a little quirky. Horses just don't handle it chipping down from New York. Yeah, I mean, I originally looked at the 4, but I don't love the turf breathing on this Klarovich horse. And I think that I was probably going to use the 8 or the 6 here if I was playing it. Self-confident and with Shug. Usually when Shug sends his horses to Monmouth, they usually run okay. And with Clement's horse, the 6, yeah, he's got tons of turf horses. And I guess, his second string horses go to Monmouth. And but that being said, usually they run pretty well, right? Clement's horses or turf horses usually run well. But I brought this up before in the past with Scotty. It just seems like with me and Clement do not have any chemistry. When I bet his horses, they always lose. I don't know if I've had one winner, maybe 1 for 90. And then when I don't bet his horses, he's 89 for 90. So I think I'm going to keep playing him just for the, out of spite. So I eventually reverse my course. Anytime I leave a Clement horse out, usually it's the one that beats me in a pick 5 or pick 6, and I'm like, I didn't like that horse, and of course that's the horse that beats me. So I probably use the 8 or the 6 here.
Yeah, and we got the Shipper, the 5. Those are always fun to figure out, right? Hasn't run since last September.
Yeah, it comes over from Ireland, right? Mm-hmm. Never heard of the trainer. Yeah, right. Usually, Chris, I always give these European shippers one race. I'm not going to bet. Sometimes these horses are way over bet, and I want to see a race in this country in North America on Monmouth turf course, which could be rather quirky also. So yeah, no,
complete the line.
A horse I would never play.
Gotcha. All right, we got Gulfstream going off right now.
And they're off. This favorite was away just okay. She was actually probably a step slower than the others. Good start for Timely Reward, who heads off for the early lead, so it's the other newcomer to take the early advantage. Aless Queen is now second, and Julie's Legacy finds her feet while in hand down at the rail in third. Out in the middle goes Brown-Eyed Beauty, then Big Bouquet of Roses as this leader is working off the inside, and Julie's Legacy is trying to settle down behind her. A gap of 2.5 to Gouldian, and out the back is Five Eyes on Michael. Half a mile from the wire, the leader is Timely Reward, and Greenridge seeking a double in front to half a length. Aless Queen is there second. Down at the rail, Julie's Legacy will have to be a good horse for a win from there. She's taking a ton of kickback in the career debut. From fourth, Big Bouquet of Roses, then back to Brown-Eyed Beauty. They race to the 5/16. Zayas called on Julie's Legacy, and she was there for him. Julie's Legacy shoots through toward the rail at the quarter pole. Now he tries to catch a breather again. This leader's doing everything right. Mm-hmm. It's Julie's Legacy off the turn on top. 45-1 for the opening half mile.
Best.
They come past the 8th pole with Julie's Legacy 3 lengths in hand. From the outside now, Aless Queen is second as the leader starts to tire a touch. Final 16th of a mile. Aless Queen trying to peg back Julie's Legacy. Julie's Legacy trying to get home. Julie's Legacy almost there. Aless Queen on the outside. Julie's Legacy. All in all, that was a really good effort from the winner, Julie's Legacy. She helped.
Yeah, so the 6 did run a little better than that Tapeta race, correct? So almost got there.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll get over here to Monmouth. Make sure that comes up. It is.
Yes, I see the 4 horse here at Monmouth is taking money. I don't really prefer Matoli's on the grass. So we'll see how this horse runs. But again, it's like, I don't like a Chad Brown first time turf. But I think I'd let that horse beat me. Yeah, I'd probably use the 6 of the 8 here if I was playing.
Race 6. I already had my first race, David, where I failed to make a pick. That was the Aqueduct one. So, good stuff there.
Oh, okay. So you better check mine. And isn't it? It's uncanny with these NHC qualifiers online with horse players and horse tourneys, right? Many times I'll just play one entry, and a lot of times because I'm in a rush. So you pick your first choice and you pick your alternate, right? And then how many times if you flip it, usually your alternate, if you used all those second alternates, you would have, cash, or you would have been on the board. And like, okay, so next time I'm going to play 2 tickets and whatever the deal is. But so a friend of mine said, well, why don't you make your plays and then take your alternate and then change and make your alternate your plays? I'm like, well, then what'll happen, the horses that I move over from my primary to my alternates, I'll do better. So I don't know if that's going to happen. So he said, well, just do 2 tickets all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's probably the way to go. But
it is so annoying when all your alternates win.
Right.
And,
I can't begin to tell you last year, Chris, when I was having trouble qualifying, I was getting late in the year, and I'm like, I hate to, tab all of my alternates, but I did, and I'm like, it's like maybe 3 times if I used my alternates, I would have qualified. I would have got an NHC seat. So and again, do you want to spend, instead of the 165, you want to double it up? Okay.
Yeah.
Now you can say, well, Dave, what are you worried about? You won the NHC, you can double up, but you still have a budget, right? And again, when this is mythical and it's online, unless you get breakage, the 165 is gone. So I prefer using that bankroll money for a live contest. So technically I try to get into the 18 or the 165, unless I love the card. If I absolutely love the card and I think I have 2 choice, I might do that.
Well, Jeff Soto is in the lead in the tournament, and you are in second place. $20.10 leads it. You have $14.50.
Oh, how the hell did I do that? I gotta look at my picks.
One other note also is when you're playing tournaments and horse players and whatnot, there are no rebates there.
Correct. Yep.
Or is your primary wagering address in Florida?
No. My primary wagering address is Western New York, my Rochester location. Why do you ask?
Because you get better rates if you're in Florida.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's where you're going with that. Yeah.
Yeah, much better rates. Talk to the people that live in Illinois about that.
Okay.
What's the bet here at Monmouth, Willie? I think we were talking before. Let me just flip back to Monmouth. I was going to go with the. Now it's giving me a headache getting back over there. Let me go and look at my notes here. I was going with the 6.
And since I like the 6-8, I'll go with the 8. Okay, and I'll box in 6-8 exacta.
There we go.
Makia coming up, goes in.
Good to hear Matt Ditterman.
Lily Spirit, post 3. HMS Victory
Monmouth
will be the next one to face the gate. 2 back, Rising Inflation. Into the outside, Self-Confident. Rising Inflation's in, Self-Confident. Rounds out the field. We're ready to go. That's the 7, HMS Victory, who broke through the front of the gate, unseating Jomar Torres. Who
no, fortunately we didn't have the 7.
After that. And the horse didn't go very far, has been corralled pretty quickly here, so that was that. The rider of Princess Gladys, Charlie Marquez, also out of the saddle. But all the other horses, it appears in the gate, are okay, waiting patiently in there. HMS Victory trotting back behind the starting gate. They've backed out Princess Gladys.
Always fun when you have gate stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Corporate Power was the lock you talked about, right there.
Yeah. What do you see the
which means
opening odds there?
I don't. Somebody's asking
Yeah.
in the chat, so I just wanted to-
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. It's probably going to be 8 to 5.
And well-being of our human and equine athletes, the most importance to us here at Monmouth. So when something like this happes, you just go back behind the gate,
Yes,
check
great
them out, make sure everything's all
director,
good.
Corporate Power is the lock I'm talking about. And again, is the people who have heard me, horse players have heard my commentary and my analysis. I'm a long shot player at heart, but when I see a horse that I think is an absolute lock, I mean, I'm going to go with it. I mean, do I look for value? Maybe exacta. In this case, no. I'm just going to single Corporate Power because a number of times looking for value on the bottom end, an exacta or triple has bit me in the rear end. And if I like a horse, I will just increase the denomination of my win bet and move on.
If you have win, play, show,
Gotcha.
exacta, trifecta, superfecta wagers on number 7, you won't be refunded for those.
7 was scratched.
Of course, you can adjust your bets, make new bets with this late scratch. But again, win, play, show, exacta, trifecta, superfecta bets to be refunded.
I like how they put their fixed odds up there. It makes it
Also,
kind of
ladies and
interesting to
gentlemen,
see where they line up.
Yeah, that's one of the novelties of going to Monmouth. I always like to use those fixed odds and with the first couple flashes, right? When you think a horse is going to be, say, 8 to 1, and you know there's not a lot of money in the pools, and you go up and like, oh, geez, this horse is 15 to 1. You run up to the window, and you're like, if I get any more than 10 to 1, I'm in. And by the time you play it, that 15 to 1 goes down to maybe 9 or 8. But yeah, I've done that, and the way to do it, the way I approach it, is the first couple of minutes that wagering's open for that race, I just take a quick look at the board because that's when you get your value.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got to be on track to do that.
Yes, or I think you can do it online if you live.
If you have in New Jersey, is it New Jersey Bets? Yeah, if you're a resident of New Jersey, you can do that, right? And I would encourage anybody who hasn't been down in Monmouth for one of the NAC qualifiers, definitely do it. Like I said, they're affordable. Majority of them are $300. I believe it's $150 for the bankroll and $150 to the prize pool. And so you can, I think it's 3 entries per contest. And it's a novel track. It's a small track, and it's like I said, fixed. You got the fixed odds and live racing now as of May at Monmouth. It's a nice little venue.
Good. There is a tournament coming up there that I know a bunch of people are going to be playing in, which is the Pick Your Prize one.
Probably, yep. Probably the best. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
No. You are absolutely right. It is the best one in terms of getting yourself an NHC entry, because I know people last year, I think it's $2,000 to play in, and you needed like $3,500 to get an NHC seat. So
Princess Gladys broke
if you're not looking to try and win it,
and is up on the pace with
you can pick one of
self-confidence.
those up pretty
These two come out of the chute together.
A friend of mine finished
Princess
17th last year, and he sat at the table with us in qualifiers. 17th. He got an NHC seat.
From the third position, Kobe's Candle alongside of her, a gap of 2 to Rising Inflation with
That's
Makia
how
and Lily Spirit in the back of the pack. No genuine tempo on it all here. As Princess Gladys shows the way.
It's one of the rare ones he doesn't try and win.
Moderate pace at best. Princess Gladys, the leader here, by a little over 2 lengths.
Well, I
Lady
like this
D's
2
happy
kid
track
exactly,
from
David.
second.
So if we can
Kobe's
get this
Candle
home,
to
that
the
would be
inside.
nice.
Self-confident in the 4th position, 3 lengths off the pace, a half length to Makia, and then comes Rising Inflation, 6 lengths off the pace, a length clear of Lily Spirit. who's the trailer and has no speed to chase. 25-1 that first quarter mile.
That's slow.
Set by Princess Gladys, who's had everything her own way on the lead, a length in front. Lady Meese tracking in
These are where
second as they
19 to
start
1
to pick up
shots
the
can be
tempo just
dangerous.
a little bit. Kobe's Candy third to the inside of Self-Confident. Makia fifth, nickeled along now within 5 or 6 from the top. Rising inflation to her outside and a gap of 3 now to Lily's Spirit. So from here it's going to be a 3-furlong sprint to the line. Princess Gladys the leader a length. Lady Meese getting closer and now turns up the pressure around the far turn. Lady Meese and Princess Gladys stride for stride as they hit the top of the lane. Self-Confident being asked to go under the stick. 2 behind, and then Kobe's Candle as they wheel for the judge. Lady Meese down the lane has the head lead. Princess Gladys not going away, but she's back at second. Self-Confident trying to get there. It's still Lady Meese on top by a length. Self-Confident lunching after her late. Lady Meese on top, Self-Confident. One last lunge, photo finish.
Wow.
Very tight.
That got really tight.
Yeah, I think the 8 got it, no?
Looked like it to me, right? Right there at the jump.
It's close.
I think we've got Woodbine going into the gate now, so we'll skip Woodbine and we'll get over back to handicapping. Let me remove Woodbine. We've got Pimlico, race 10 coming up in 10 minutes, David. So let me get that one up. Okay, Pimlico. Three-year-olds here, 8.5 on dirt, the Sir Barton. Do you have any initial thoughts before I jump into the race sim?
Yeah, no, run the sim. The only thing I also noticed too with the horse I like, Corporate Power, has blinkers on. So this horse had a tendency to get off slow out of the gate. So I'd be curious to see how the simulator reflects that if the 5's going to be a little closer. Hopefully the 5 gets off better today.
Remember, they never switch leads.
Right.
Cutting into it. But Real Macho keeps going. Now the 5 gets the lead. Not by much. It says it wins to the head over the 10. Imperial Gun. For Rosario and Asmussen and Corporate Power, you've got Sugar and Javier.
Right. Okay. So Chris, I'll just go over why I like the 5 so much.
Sure.
The opening race, the initial race that this horse ran was at Gulfstream on Pegasus Day, right? I was there at the Pegasus this year, and this is a key race in my opinion. This race was won by Speakeasy. There's some hard-hitting horses. Victory Avenue finished second. Big City. I mean, there are some well-bred 3-year-olds who are on the, who could be on the Triple Crown Trail or the 3-year-old Title Trail. I was really impressed with that race. This horse broke in, bump start, had the worst kind of trip, and ran an even 4th. And again, to me, that's a key race. They ran a 7-furlong race with 3-year-old maidens in 1:21.4. Okay, I know the track was fast that day, but that's impressive as hell. So then they stretched. This horse is bred for distance more. This horse is a Curlin. So they stretched this horse out to 1.125 The horse got also a bad start that race, but was fortunate to get up and win by a neck. Obviously, the strength of that field was not at the same level as that opening, monster race. Mm-hmm. Then came back to Aqueduct, had a sloppy track, got off better, had the inside post, and however, Unique Insight, which is a Chad Brown horse, got an easy lead, sloppy track, and going 2 turns, which is rather advantageous at Aqueduct. So Chad Brown horse had the advantage, and this horse ran a game race, saved ground, made a turn, and coming for home, you would think this horse is going to go right by, but because it was a relatively modest pace, or moderate pace, the Unique Insight was able to hold on. But this horse, to me, just has tons of room for improvement. I could say this is my Belmont horse, but I think this horse has got Travers written all over it. So I'm really high on this horse. This is a $925,000 yearling. I just think that this horse is just got so much upside and is a future star. But I've been wrong before, but we'll see. So I'm all over this 5 horse.
Interestingly, Real Macho, who is the long shot, has a 20-1 morning line, 7-2 EE morning line, and is currently at 8-1. Didn't really show up in the Florida Derby at all. Had a really rough trip here. This horse was hyped a bit for that race. Getting Flavian here, maybe one that could kind of pick up. Show up in your exotics or something.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Chris, because even though I'm not playing exotic here, I looked at the morning line on this horse yesterday, and I'm like, really, 20-1? Are you kidding me? If you look at this race, February 3rd, I mean, that was a pretty decent race. This horse in the ran in the Fountain of Youth and the Florida Derby. Now you throw the Florida Derby race out, right? Yeah. How's this horse morning line 20-1? I would have made. Now I don't envy any odds, morning line makers, because I don't think I could ever do it. But in this race, stakes races, I probably could do very well with making the morning line. But I would peg this horse 10-12-1 morning line. So yeah, no, I agree. I think that this horse has a chance to run a decent race here underneath.
Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of these where you've got, the top 2, the 5 and the 10, which is, the favorite and the second choice there. And when you look win percentage wise, they're taking up 40% of it. And then the 2 grabs, 19 of it. And then you're left with kind of the 6 and 1. And then, the other ones are kind of the also rans here. And, sometimes these guys can hit the board. This horse is obviously not won here in 9 starts, but couple of times hitting the board, but those are probably the throwout horses. The 1 is another one, did not finish last out at Aqueduct and at the Wood Memorial, and trying it again over here. But when you look at the strength of race here at 60, and you look back at the 2, it's certainly somewhat dropping in class here, obviously, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely dropping in class. This is a much weaker spot. And the thing is, if I was going to use an exact, I would probably try to squeeze the 2 in there. Absolutely. And it's the E long shot. Also, just wanted to point out, Chris, that the 8th race at Aqueduct, you say Belmont at the Big A. It's Aqueduct, let's be honest. They race at Aqueduct, Belmont at the Big A. I'm invested in the 2 and 9.
Okay, let me flip over to Aqueduct real quick.
Right, so the 2 had an outside post last time. On its best day, this horse is competitive here, and it's taking money. 9-2 was morning line, 8-1, and Alexis Orba is the lone speed, in my opinion, and so I'm on a 2-9 here at Aqueduct.
2-9. The race simulator. So the Scotty picks have it 9-2, 9-2-8, and the race simulator has it 9-8-2. Unfortunate that our friends in the New York Racing Association aren't letting us show these anymore.
Yeah, unfortunate. I won't comment any further. A couple of things that Naira's done that I'm not too happy about, but I don't want to get into that. This is not the forum for that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Right. And it's all related to NHC, so I think I had a little bit of a beef with them.
I equate it to the NFL draft. Like, they let everybody cover that, right?
Right.
All right, I've got the Naira race going.
And this is a wide open board. This is where at Aqueduct. I mean, with favorites, what, 3-1? So you got 3-1, 7-2, 4-1. They don't know who to make the favorite here.
Mm-hmm. We got 4 minutes to go until we get over to the Maryland Jockey Club. Nine's still in the lead.
Nine's on a lead. Now, you're probably ahead of me if you're watching. So don't spoil it. I'm on like a 12-second delay.
Yeah, I can tell you where I'm at. I'll tell you when they post the next quarter. They're heading into the stretch now.
Actually, I'm looking pretty good here. These two. Two's getting a good trip along the rail against. And the 7 does scare me. The 7's sitting in a perfect position there too. It's rather honest fractions.
2's going to win.
I prefer a 2-9. Oh. I know, 2 doesn't want to go up the rail.
All right, got it. Catch up yet?
Yeah, the 7. Yeah. It's getting it. Yeah.
2 won the race.
Okay, thanks. That'll do. The 9 didn't. Yeah. Oh man, this is it's a head bob. Yeah, good trip. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Kevin. Marty Panza used to be was a long-time racing secretary out at Hollywood Park, and when they closed, he ended up out there at NYRA and did a fantastic job.
I agree.
Okay, let's see, where are we at here? We got a couple minutes. I'll get Pimlico up here, and we can take a look there.
Well, we just saw Oldie. It's pouring at Pimlico. That's even better for corporate power because I think this horse is the last race at Aqueduct. It was a sloppy track. Ran a good race. I think this horse loves to slop. Figures curling. I remember the days of curling at Monmouth Breeders' Cup, and the day before, I had seats on the finish line for the day before, and the grandstand. It was great, except it was pouring and about 30-mile-an-hour winds, so you couldn't really. My racing form was soaked, even with an umbrella. And it wasn't a big crowd, and I was wandering around a grandstand in enclosure, and I remember starting to dry out, but curling, that was a memorable Breeders' Cup on a muddy track.
Pimlico up here. I'm not seeing the rain that Oli is talking about. Maybe it's raining in Waikiki Beach in Honolulu, or maybe Oldie has had too many Mai Tais.
Yes, he may not be able to distinguish one climate from the other or one location from another, but as long as you're having a good time, it's a weekend. Yeah. And we got Preakness. It's Preakness Day.
He's out there. His daughter is competing. Having a good time.
Oh,
Justin
nice.
Is in Southern California and took his kids to Disneyland. They went to Dodger Stadium to get the Otani bobblehead. All kinds of good stuff. We got a question here, David, for you from the great director.
Great director. How many years have I been handicapping? Well,
I'll let you, David, I'll let you answer that real quick. I'm going to go to my IT closet and reset something.
Okay. As a matter of fact, handicapping is a term that's rather interesting. Some of my friends back in the day used to say, my handicapping is my greatest handicap when it comes to playing horses, but that's in jest, obviously. And I've been playing horses since I'm like 15 or 16 years old. And I won't tell you how old I am, but if you read my profile, you'll know. So it's been many years. I started out back in the days. My first track I've ever been to was Belmont. And I used to work on a golf course back in the day. And working my way through college, and when it rained and they closed the golf course, it was the spring or summer. What does a 17, 18-year-old kid do when it's a rainy day in the summer? You either go home and go to sleep, you go to a movie, or you go to the track. Okay, track doesn't close when it's sloppy unless you're Santa Anita now. But yeah. So I ended up getting my breaking my maiden on sloppy tracks. I think my first wager I ever won was on a sloppy track. And I was just enthralled that I bet $5 to win, and I ended up getting $37 back. I'm like, this is the greatest game in the world. I didn't pay anything. I paid $2 to get in, nothing to park, and I'm going home with a $30-something profit. And yeah, so it's been many years. Yeah, back in the '70s. My first memory, one of my first major memories of Belmont was Seattle Slew, Triple Crown. I was there, and with a buddy of mine from high school, and just a memory. Once that hooked me. That Triple Crown. I just couldn't believe the atmosphere and the energy in the building. It was just, and after that, I was hooked. I just loved the game. I just loved the atmosphere around the racetrack. I do miss going to live races more because of all the simulcasts. You can just basically play from your home. And I think I miss the cigar smoke, the aroma of cigar smoke all through the track. It just brings back memories, So I'm not a cigar smoker. So it's like, you're at the track. You don't even have to look up. And it's like, okay, here I am. I'm in the clubhouse of Belmont. I smell the cigar smoke. So it's Belmont back in the days, back in the '70s, and there was Big Andy Beyer, little Andy hanging out in the press box in the clubhouse. I remember they used to, everybody knew who Andy Beyer was, and they said, "Who's the guy that's tailing along with him?" I said, "It was little Andy." It was Andy Beyer. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was. Andy Serling, Andy Beyer. So yeah, so I go back that long. Yeah.
All right, looks like we're getting close here.
I seem pretty good. I made a long-term profit. Yeah, since I hit the NHC. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that was a nice bid.
Daily grind. Now D-Day Sky.
The track does look like it's drying out. I don't really see. It's changed. They were labeling it good, but it seemed more muddy to me. But now it seems good towards fast, right? Definitely good.
It's getting better, I think.
Oh yeah, I think it's still almost 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours till the Preakness. So we may have a fast track.
For the Preakness Stakes. Going for the lead there is Gulls Daily Grind and Imperial Gun. On the inside, Deposition got a good start. Will settle in fourth to the first turn run. And back to D-Day Sky. Who's in between horses around the turn. Corporate Power parked out about the four-path around that turn. Circle P tucks in on the inside. In the back of the pack, and Real Macho is the trailer. Racing around that turn now, and it's Daily Grind to set the tempo. Pushed by Gulls.
I know people were complaining today about the jockey cam deal.
Oh yeah. I'm one of those people who complain about that. I've been watching a pan shot for years. Just show me the pan shot.
Yeah. I don't mind the drone shots. Those aren't bad.
I don't like the drone shots because then I go back from the pan to the drone and I lose my horse sometimes.
Length in front. A length in front from Gulls second. Imperial Gun third in between horses. Corporate Power continues a wide journey as they pass the half-mile pole.
He's really wide.
Circle P and Deposition are next. They're followed by D-Day Sky, who's only got 6 to make up. At trailing the field is Real Macho. Half-mile went 48 at 1/5 seconds. Around the far turn, less than 3 furlongs to go. Gulls Daily Grind, Gulls. And here comes Corporate Power continuing a wide move with a quarter to go at Pimlico. In behind them is Imperial Gun asked to kick, and Circle P is saving ground there at the top of the stretch, and they make the turn for home. Into the stretch, Gulls just in front. Turning back, Corporate Power. Gulls down to the inside. Daily Grind still trying to kick and is very game with a furlong left to go. Far outside, Corporate Power trying to get back into it too. And Imperial Gun in between horses. Corporate Power dropped back, came back. Corporate Power, too much power. Corporate Power, Gulls found out. Gulls surged again. Oh, what a finish.
Oh,
Corporate
man.
Power, then Imperial Gun.
Wow, that was interesting.
The 6 get it, or was it the 5?
I think the 6 came back. Shit. Yeah.
Well,
but we'll see.
Photo finish. That is a photo. The judges are posted the photo sign.
The 10 did not help the 5 here at all.
No.
I mean, he
that was an interesting
really
trip
off stride.
Yeah, I think the 6 came back. All these saying the 5, hopefully, because that's my major single and wager of the day.
Oof. That is super,
let me look at the photo here.
Fun.
Get a better angle here.
Inquiry. What would the inquiry be on the 10? The 10's the one that caused all that.
Oh man, I still don't know if the 5 won. It looked like the 5, and then at the last jump, and they were kind of, a good distance apart, so it's hard to judge. It's not like they're, side by side, and you can judge the photo better.
5, 6, and 2.
All right, we got the 5 on top.
Javier Castellano.
Whew, I never thought I'd have to sweat it out. My Belmont horse may not be, but it's an interesting trip. He was really wide, and it's a kind of a weirdly. What was the final time? 1:40. It's not that fast.
It was in the bottom. I don't know. It could go either way.
The 5 and 10.
I like the way he did it. He took off again. He looked like from
yeah,
the corner, he lost in momentum. I think that's the reason.
Except neither one of those won.
Blinkers on it. Keep it the horse focus. He make a good progress. I like the way he finished.
So you were saying should McGahey put the blinkers on for this race? You felt like it helped him?
Absolutely.
Was that
no question about it. I like the way he did it today
or
with the
whatever
blinker.
that Tyler got dinged there?
He tried to improve a little bit.
Okay, Javier, I let you off easy earlier. You won the Kentucky Derby last
year.
Oh,
yeah. I see.
You've won the Preakness Stakes before. So I asked you who you liked, and you gave me a very diplomatic
answer. I don't know.
So
we'll have to keep an eye here if they end up with an inquiry here, David. But we'll move on to a certain extent here. Let me see what everybody is kind of running on top of each other. So bear with me for just a minute here. Looks like they're at the gate for both Gulfstream and Monmouth. Yes, Derek had mentioned the problem with the 10 is the jockey. We went over that last night. And there, the inquiry, unofficial, the inquiry sign is up. So we'll sit here, David, and
okay, yeah,
run through this. These are always fun.
Right, and looking back at this race now, again, I usually watch the replay a couple times in a race where I have interest in a horse, moving forward. Yeah, I mean, my first impression, when I had said that this is possibly a Belmont horse, but just seeing the time and the trip and the wide trip and the quality of the horses in this field, this may not be a Belmont horse, but we'll see.
Oli, if you want to come on for the inquiry, feel free to pop on in.
Remember Codex mugging the filly in the Preakness? Absolutely. That was genuine risk, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I was at Aqueduct for the Wood, and my girlfriend and I were having a dispute. She loved genuine risk because the filly's going to beat the boys. I'm like, no chance. The horse won't even hit the board, and she got the best of me. The genuine risk, I think, finished second in the Wood. Yeah, genuine risk was some filly.
Are you still with that lady, or is that an extra?
No.
Did it have anything to do with that?
We didn't mesh. She was a better handicapper than me, so I guess this rivalry just. And then I was a Rangers fan, and she was an Islanders fan. So that just didn't work for me.
That tells you right.
It didn't work for her. She's, and they were winning 4 Stanley Cups at the time, and it's like.
Well, your Rangers are doing fairly well.
Yeah. Conference finals, Eastern Conference finals.
I'll be rooting for them for sure.
Boy, yeah.
Well, you know, they keep showing us the horses walking around. It would be good to see the head on.
Yeah. I'm just watching Gulfstream in the back. Don't switch to Gulfstream. Obviously, this is more important, but I did have some interest in the 9 at Gulfstream if I was playing the race.
Well, while they figure those out.
Pretty quick, but he's doing it well. He's at the quarter pole, 2 on top. Candy Street is second. On the outside, it's Bold Advance into third. Etchezero grinding home with Go-Go G. Hay River a quarter of a mile out. Speaking of grinding home, Bold Advance down the center continues to charge hard. At the rail, it's Etchezero. Edwin Gonzalez trying to get one more furlong from Hay River. He's 2 on top. On the outside, Bold Advance tries to go get him, but time has run out. Hay River down the road. It's Hay River in front. He wins by a length and a half. Bold Advance.
I must be all over the place because that wasn't the 9. The 9 horse that I thought there was the 9. It was not the same name, so maybe I had the wrong track. So many tracks we're looking at, so I apologize.
Yeah, no worries.
And if I was confident in any horse, I would have definitely given it out before the race went off. So.
No. Well, they're just walking this thing around. This is just annoying. We usually get to see kind of what they're seeing here, but they're not giving us those views, which is...
Yeah, I'm looking. I get another feed here from TVG, and I just don't see that. Nobody's showing the head-on. Are they at? No, they're not on NBC yet. So
No.
I'm thinking if Eddie Olczyk is on, he definitely would press for that head-on.
For sure. All right. Well, while we wait for this, let me get us over to Santa Anita, race 2.
Santa Anita, race 2. Oh,
We're on the
is that in the contest?
Santa Anita is not in.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, let me just pop it up on my phone. I've got. Yeah, I did look at that race. Now, Santa Anita, I know. Oh no, it is. It is, Chris. Because I used the 6. I haven't tapped. I just made the selection like about 10 minutes ago.
Next contest race is Monmouth, and then yes, Santa Anita.
Okay, so Monmouth. What race Monmouth that they're going in? I just want to let everybody know who I've got. And Self-Confident did win. Okay, they're actually off. I used a 7 in the contest. Girl Trouble, Butchie Reed's horse.
All right, let me run through this real quick here.
And it got Monmouth was won by the even money shot, the 5. I don't know who finished second.
Yep.
Nope, my 7 finished at 2-1, finished 4th. Okay.
So they got this as an inquiry and an objection now, but they still have not shown anything.
Yeah, let me see. That's unusual. Again, now I do play Laurel. I don't play much Pimlico besides Preakness Day. But let me see if I can get anything here. I wonder if they're not showing it on the feed, then they're not showing it on track either, right?
Yeah, the race sim has the Santa Anita race 8 over the 4 with the 6 and the 1. 6 pretty close and the 1 right after. At the top, Scotty picks are 4, 8, and 1. The 1 should be on the lead, and it's going to try and run them off their feet at 6-1, and that horse is the long shot.
Chris, objection denied. It was a jockey's objection apparently, and it's going to be official. Corporate Power on top.
Yep. They just made that official.
Hey, my lock. Usually, when I like that the lock of the day, I like to see winning by 5 at late lengths down the stretch, where you don't even have to sweat. But woo, that's why horse racing's so fun.
Yep.
They make you sweat it out. I thought, in the last couple of jumps I had an easy, and then the 6 came back, and then I have to survive an inquiry.
All right, looks like we're going to have Santa Anita and Woodbine going off at the same time. So, did you have any thoughts on Santa Anita, or we should just move over to Woodbine?
Yeah, no, Santa Anita, this is the contest race, right? So I'm using the 4 horse here. Again, it's not a race because it's in the contest, the same thing like the NHC. I'm playing it, but I probably wouldn't play for limit, so I'm on a 4.
Okay.
Advent tap. And if I can find my notes, I can tell you why I have to apologize. Usually when I focus it's almost like the NHC. I have notes all over the place. I'm like, hold on a second. 7th race at Fairgrounds. I know I have those notes around here somewhere. I have it as a key race, but I can't find why. So I apologize. I am a little more organized at the NHC when.
Yeah, when there's a little bit more cash.
There was $750,000 on the line. Yeah.
Flip over to Woodbine real quick.
Okay.
We are on the turf early this year, so we get. I believe the inner turf is where they're running here, so we'll run through this one real quick here. Looks like the 8, 2, and 3 pretty close up front. With the 8 and 2, and then as we get into the stretch, the 9 is the one that surges here with the GSR that's going up and beats the 2. It has it 9, 2, and 8. Silver horse to watch with the 2, Ryan Hernandez, and I believe on the 8, Stein for Dixon. So I didn't have a whole lot here, David, other than I thought it was going to be a pretty good pace that potentially some of these other horses underneath could run into.
Yeah, this seems to be a very, very contentious pace here. That's what screwed me up. When I looked at this, I'm like, well, this horse is dropping down this with speed. It looks like there's so many horses that are only going to win on a lead here, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't make heads or tails out of this race, and I guess when I see a race with a contentious pace, I'm going to try to look for some kind of closer. But it's only 5 furlongs. So many times I'd handicap a 5 furlong turf dash, and I'm like, oh, there's so much speed, and then the speediest of the speed goes wire to wire, and. I don't even know if any of these speeds can rate. It doesn't look like it. But the horses I thought that had a chance at a price originally were the 3 off the drop down, has won 2 races on the turf, not at the distance though. And the 3 and the 4, I was looking at some value here. So
I did like the 6 somewhat as a closer as well. We're going to go double box here as they're both loading.
Now second, wrong turn up on the outside 3rd. Teen Drama, good spot 4th, 3 lengths off the lead. Followed by Inner Beauty, Aventap, who broke well, now 6 off the lead, 2 clear of True Friend. It's Dancing Soul, taking them into the far turn, pressed by Wrong Turn, Cupid in 2nd, 3 more, Real Jewel in 3rd. Followed by Teen Drama, 4th, and ask for a bit more. Inner Beauty, red colors along the rail. Aventap is in between horses, and a gap of 5 to True Friend. It's a scramble for the win. It's Dancing Soul in front. Inner Beauty cuts the corner and coming gamely now. And Inner Beauty, Aventap looking for a seam as well. They're followed by a Real Jewel, and on the far outside, Teen Drama, wild finish at the Great Race Place. A Real Jewel between horses. Teen Drama on the outside. 3 of them come for the wire together. Photo finish. It's very close between.
That was kind of nuts.
Yes, it was.
Off to a perfect start, back to last though, Lantana Lady, and going out in front, American Starlet, Dancing Duchess right on the pace, away very well was the Arcadian Way and Spirit Gal the centre, and Miss Vivian rocketing up on the inside to get to the front. In behind the mid-pack is Kahira's Blessing, Sacred Dancer, I'm Into Mischief is third last, then Old Blondie, and last is Lantana Lady. Miss Vivian in front, the Arcadian Way second from Spirit Gal, and 4 wide, Dancing Duchess on the outside, moving up again, then American Starlet, Sacred Dancer. Behind those runners, Kahira's Blessing, Old Blondie, back second last, I'm Into Mischief, and Lantana Lady the inside, turning, and Miss Vivian in front. A length American Starlet, up on the inside, trying to kick his Sacred Dancer. Lantana Lady's running now, and she's coming from last.
She goes as your closer.
The outside is ranging up, and Lantana Lady ranges up to American Starlet. American Starlet headed by Lantana Lady, and Patrick Husband's Day. What a ride, what a win. Lantana Lady from last to first.
Good call.
American Starlet,
the closer,
Sacred
right?
Dancer third, then Dancing Duchess.
Yeah, 6-1. We love those.
Thought it was 11-1.
11-1. Sorry, yeah, 11-1.
Oh, I love that even more. 11-1. Good call.
Like is this the 2? No, inside horse. All right, let's get back over. It takes too many clicks without the virtual machine. That was the 6. So was the closer there off the layoff for Patrick Husbands. Not too shabby there for sure. Okie doke, David. Let's see. We're at 4:34 p.m. So Santa Anita just went off. Woodbine is all screwed up. Looks like we got Monmouth Park race 9 coming up.
And we do have Aqueduct. It's their Philly Stakes, and I do have an interest in Leave No Trace at 8-1.
Okay.
This horse came back and opened in a claiming race. Was it claiming at the NHC? This horse has been at different distances. Phil Serpy's been trying this. This horse ran in a Breeders' Cup juvenile turf last year. He moved it to synthetics, stretched this horse out. Finally got this horse back on track to a sprint last time out, and just aired at on Sunday at the NHC, and it really helped catapult me in the Silver Sunday contest. So I usually have a little loyalty. I do think this horse at 9-1 is just a total value here. And I think this horse she's going to run a good race. Much better field she's facing today. Stakes race, Hot Fudge, Big Pond. I mean, but I think this horse can compete in this spot. So we will find out.
All right.
Horse is coming back. She's coming back into form, and supposedly, I did have noted the work. This horse. She worked real good last time out. Just let me pull that up.
Six and a half. They're going there, David. Correct.
6.5. Yes.
All right. Let's see, I might be able to get the audio up for this one.
Yeah, 2 is 4-5. So obviously, I'm going to use a 2-5 exact and probably a 1-5 exact on the back end, but. Yeah, I think she's going to run, and this is a competitive race. I think you might have a couple of horse photo here, in my opinion. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
It's post time. Post time for today's ninth race.
Can you hear, David?
The vagrancy. Grade 3.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
$74.20.
Reminds me of the old OTB days where you went into the OTB location and you stared at a TV and just heard the sound, right?
Yeah.
You just heard the call, which was great. Just put that volume up.
Big Pond goes in. Imanra. Paco Lopez step forward. Asset purchase. Leave no trace.
Then we'll get over to Monmouth, which is our next contest race, if I'm not mistaken.
Leave no trace. Just a little reluctant here. Now moving forward, Jose Lascano aboard. Is now in the gate. Beguine. Beguine to the outside. Beguine is now in. All set for the vagrancy. And they're off. Beguine breaks with early speed towards the outside. Leave no traces in that early mix as well. Hot Fudge is at the rail, and here comes the run from Big Pond. Imanra to the back end of the field is the early trailer as Asset Purchase starts to move forward. Wanted some forward position, is now sitting in third. The leader is Beguine. It's Beguine who's in front with Leave No Trace stalking from second. Asset Purchase is looking for room, wants to move towards the outside here. Manny Franco is looking around and now moves towards the outside here of Leave No Trace has taken that stalking presence from third. Imanra is getting the hurry up 22-1 for that opening quarter mile. Beguine is the target. From the back, Big Pond is starting to rally second to last, and Hot Fudge will have to pass them all is the trailer as they get set to reach a quarter mile left to go. Beguine is doing it very easily so far. Beguine gets set to reach the top of the stretch. Leave No Traces in full pursuit. Asset Purchase is chasing as well. Big Pond has got some ground to make up. As they reach the top of the stretch, Beguine starts to tire a little bit, and here's Leave No Trace. Big Pond is just rolling from the back, only has a furlong left to go to catch the top two, but is making up with every stride. Leave No Traces got the lead. Big Pond is trying to time it perfectly. Leave No Trace is almost home. Big Pond, Leave No Trace. Leave No Trace wins the vagrancy.
Yes. Okay, that's beautiful for me. Beautiful.
Boom. Very nice, David.
Yeah.
Back winners on the show, always like that for sure.
Oh yeah, and I think I prefer the back-to-back winners 8-5 over. I believe 8-1. 8-1 is closed at. So that's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, racing gods.
Yeah.
Yep. Boom. Yes. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a video, Jeff. It's kind of old by now, but I can get it to you if you want to take a look at it. All right, yeah, Alan jumping on the train as well. Very nice.
Somebody mentioned Harvey Pack, and if you saw anything about my Eclipse Award and my NHC acceptance speech, yeah, I'm a huge Harvey Pack guy. I mean, I grew up with Harvey Pack. I remember going to the Paddock Club one of the first times at the track. I'm like, this is an interesting character. I mean, and he never pulled any punches, and that's what I respected about him. He would be the first to criticize his employer if he wasn't happy with the card or a call or a steward's call or the way that the track management was running things. And he never got fired, but I think the corporate climate has changed there. I don't think that any of the Fox Sports or NYRA analysts and commentators have that, flexibility without things have changed, right? You're not going to criticize your employer. I mean, I have a lot of reservations about what's going on in NYRA, but at this point, that's between me and NYRA, and if my close friends, my big thing is they don't offer NHC contests anymore, which I'm a NYRA guy. That's how I qualified originally to go to my first NHC, and I would still be a NYRA guy going to all these tournaments. So it's kind of frustrating, but I'll leave it at that.
All right, through the contest right now, Jeff Stoto is still in the lead at $42.90. David Harrison on his tail with $38.90. And Lou Condelano in third with $27.70. So we move on from there, David. Our next event is going to be Monmouth Park Race 9 here. And then right after that, about 5-6 minutes after that, will be Pimlico Race 11. So let's cruise on over and look at this Monmouth race here. That's how the race sim has it ending up. I got it to 2, 8, and 9, which lines up with the top Scotty picks here. And the 1 is a bronze horse to watch with Top Win and Top GSR. And the 7, who ends up right there, is the money bag horse and has not won in a while. So as I tell people in the coaching classes, that's one for me where I can immediately make that horse vanish. Anything you liked here? Another turf dash.
Yeah, I was going to use the 9, the EE long shot. Second race off a layoff is what I have here. Let me just see what my notes.
Kelly Breen in this spot, David, 97 attempts, 15%.
Right. And what I do like, this is a constitution, and I love constitutions either on turf or dirt. And basically came off a Keeneland race, and to me the quality of that race was just so much superior to what we have here. Second race off a layoff. Had one at Gulfstream at 5 furlongs, pretty easy at 4 to 5, and yeah, I ended plus on April 10th. I like the workout 4 furlongs in 47 and 3 breezing, so I would be interested in the 9 here.
All right, 9. I kind of like a 9-2 here to a certain extent. I also thought the 8 was interesting. Second off here for Arnold and his Delacour, as Oldie would say, 21% with these kind of moves, and he's 21% second back. So from the overseas horse, obviously ran just a short time ago at Gulfstream on the turf. Going a little bit longer today. GSR does drop a little bit. Strength of race is above the 1 from there. So we'll let me find Monmouth here. Where?
Okay, yeah, in Monmouth, I did. Yeah, I remember the reason I had interest in the 9 at Monmouth is it's a contest race, so I have the 9. 9 on top of the 2 as my second, and I've got to make a pick for Santa Anita third. So yes. Let me look at that now. Yeah, I have that race. I struggle. I know it's a small field, but I couldn't get a handle on, so I'll pick somebody.
Yeah,
let me just take another look.
Next race for the contest will be Pimlico race 11, and then Santa Anita race 3.
Okay.
Let's see. Do I have Monmouth up yet? Do not. So let me drop this. Okay, David, I'm going to let you take them to the gate. I'll be right back.
Sure. Okay, I'm trying to look at the 4th race. 4th race at Santa Anita, and I have to apologize. Yeah, thanks everybody about the 5. Sometimes you get the right trip, right, and these horses run. Sometimes they don't. And but yeah, it's nice to have back-to-back winners. Thanks everybody. I think you like to have good days too on big days, right? If you can. So the next contest race in this horse tourneys it's actually the 3rd race at Santa Anita. Let me just pull up my notes. I apologize. We're trying to handicap 26 different races here, and I've got notes all over the place. All right, here we go. So what we have here at Santa Anita is a maiden $20,000 claimer, and in all honesty, the maiden $20,000 claimers, bottom of the barrel at Santa Anita, is really not my cup of tea. Since it is a contest race, same experience at the NHC, you've got to play it if it's mandatory, right? And I think the one thing that stuck out at me here at Santa Anita is the 4-horse Instinct d'Oro. Basically is just dropping from a maiden 50 to a maiden 20. To me, it's pretty significant drop. The concern I have, this horse at maiden 50 was 45 to 1. So this horse didn't really take any money whatsoever. But now, obviously, morning line 3 to 1, and I have to look to see what the current odds are. But yeah, that's the horse I'm going to use in the contest for. And it doesn't really matter if I have an alternate. In case there's a scratch, I'll use the 3. So I'll use the 4 here. Instinct d'Oro, from dropping down from 50 maiden to the bottom of the barrel 20. Did show a little speed, stalked inside and weakened, working okay, but yeah. So that's the only angle I have on this horse. So it's going to be the 4 for me. And then I think the next contest race after that, if you want to go through that, Monmouth 9th race, I'm on the 9, Definite Diva. So those are the 2 next contest races coming up. And I do, because
9, Definite Diva, who was acting up a little.
Oh, here we go. Beautiful. Thanks, Chris.
Marin hopped off, climbing back aboard. Looks like we're ready. And they're off. Queen Ollie leapt in the air at the start, is at the back of the pack after that. On the payroll from the inside has speed. Amazing Grace's Joy quicker. Amazing Grace's Joy to the front. Schwengzi takes the second position. Definite Diva on the outside third. And on the payroll, who broke alertly, has been taken back to stock the pace down the backstretch. Sea Maiden is next in the field. She's alongside of Queen Ollie, who's made up some ground after the slow beginning. And a 3-deep Madeline's Grogu. 99 is second to last. And right up front, can see them all as they charge into the forward turn. Amazing Grace's Joy, the leader by a length. Schwengzi on her tail. Shown Moraine gets closer within a half length of the lead. Now it's just a neck as they approach the top of the stretch. Definite Diva right off the leaders, gets into the 3-path coming off the turn. On the payroll, cuts the corner, tries to gain ground, angles outside for the stretch drive, and Queen Ollie's coming on the inside, dives to the rail. Schwengzi passing Amazing Grace's
9
Joy.
just died.
Queen Ollie continues to run up the inside. Schwengzi's in front. Schwengzi's gonna see it out. Schwengzi over Queen Ollie.
Schwengzi!
The back of the field got third. Amazing Grace's Joy checked fourth.
All right.
77 to 2, Arnold Delacour. And
Arnold.
this was a, yep, I'm sorry.
Arnold and his Delacour. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is another turf sprint. So you can see as we go through the day, my turf sprints, and again, that's one thing as a handicapper. We all have our strengths and weaknesses when it comes to races we prefer. And I look back, my ROI on dirt races is so much higher than turf. And then it's so much higher on dirt than turf sprints. So many times, especially at Saratoga, they card so many turf sprints. You'll have New York State turf sprints with 12-horse fields, and half of them have never tried the turf. And those are races I like to avoid. That's when I go into the backyard and go into the paddock and you look for any buddies I have back there. And I'm like, oh, is that race over? Okay. Maybe talk to the Matisses by the Big Red Spring. And they're better turf sprint handicappers than I am, Paul, and the gang there. So, yeah. So you'll see that as we go through. So don't put too much emphasis on my turf sprint picks.
Well,
I'll be the first to admit.
Well, David, I got another turf sprint for you at Pimlico.
Oh, okay, let's do it. This race is interesting. Okay.
So we'll take a quick look here at the
Sure.
at what the race simulator has to say. Got the 9 of the 2 real close there. And then it's got the 11 winning, the beer can man right there, along with the 2, the 1, and the 5. The 1 is the long shot. The 5 is the money bags. Who did you like here?
Okay, yeah, I looked at this race for a long time. Now there were a couple of key scratches that kind of threw me off. But the horse that I'm most interested in is the 2. This is who I used in my pick 5. The 2, 6. I'm throwing the 8 out and the 11. I don't like Beer Can Man, and I think that Smooth B now has raced, has 2 turf sprints, never won on the turf at Parks, and one of them was on an off or yielding course and didn't run so badly. A second, a third. I don't have this data in front of me, but I have an interest in that horse. I think that horse can run well. I'm not sure if the horse could win, but I think the 2. So those are the ones that I'm interested in. But to me, I don't want any part of Beer Can Man, because Beer Can Man on Preakness Day is going to get overbet, right? With all the debauchery going on in the infield, everybody's going to be betting. Just for the price, I'm throwing that horse out, because what's this horse closing at 2-1? I don't want any part of that horse. So that's me. I do. Actually, I use the 11, 6, and 2. 2, 6, 11.
Well, Rodney needs Beer Can Man or Whitty to close out his pick 4. It's his 11th wedding anniversary, and his wife is Whitty. So congrats on 11 years, Rodney, and good luck.
Congrats
on the 11
Congrats.
For sure. Thanks,
yeah, so I'm hoping, I'm thinking that Smooth B may run a decent race. So I played around with a couple of small exactas, boxes and stuff. But yeah, I'd be interested to see if this horse does move up on the off turf.
All right, since we're getting close to Santa Anita, and that's another contest race, we'll get over there real quick. I'll run the race sim for you guys here while I watch where we're at in Baltimore. But it's got the 7 here, kind of running away from them at 6 furlongs. We'll see if anybody gets close. Obviously, a Bolt d'Oro horse looks like it's going to have the 3 come up along with the 8. It could be pretty tight there. 3, 5-1, 7 at 5-1, and the 8 at 6-1. The favorite is the 4. The other Bolt horse that has it way back here. Do you have any thoughts on this one, David?
Yes. While you were on break, I did give the 4 out. Only because of the drop down from a maiden 50 to a maiden 20, and I had no other angle in this race. And maiden $20,000 claimers at Santa Anita. Normally, I'm going to pass the race, so it's in the contest. So I'm using the 4. So right now, after the last race at Monmouth, Jeff Soto has $42.90 in first, and David Harrison is in second, $38.90. Michael Brenner, $36.90. Michael Wisniewski, I apologize if I butchered the name. I'm part Polish, so I apologize. Has in fourth at $35.20, and Andrew Kirk in fifth, $30.90.
I'll make it easy for you. For Mike there, just call him Wiz.
Wiz. Okay, that makes sense. Wiz. Okay. Good luck, everybody. This contest is a great idea, Chris, because now I get all fired up when any contest is involved, right? That's what I really prefer playing. So, it's competitive juices start going, and you're like, you just want to do well, right? You never like to get into a tournament, a contest without, embarrass yourself. It's not embarrassing. You can have a bad day and finish 0, right? but
Yep.
those competitive juices get going. And I will tell you, when the year after I won the NHC, when I went back in 2023, I had 2 entries, and I'm figuring, this is all gravy. I mean, I'm not going to take it that serious. You know, it's like there's no pressure. I just won it. But once you get there and you start, getting into the flow, I'm like, damn, I'm more nervous than I was because I'm thinking it would be so great to repeat. So you do get this.
Man is only 3.5 lengths off the pace. Where's Ray just in behind that group, followed by Witty, and then back to Hunter Joe, and Surprise the Boss is racing in the back of the pack. So heading into the far turn run now, boats are rocketed. That's right. Here's Beer Can Man racing up there on the outside from 3rd position as they round that turn. Smooth B is just in behind horses, followed by Where's Ray and Cairo Towery grooms all business, and Witty now trying to unwind. Widest of them all is Witty, about 7 or 8 wide. They're into the stretch now for 1.5 left to run, and it is Boats Are Rocking. Witty on the far outside, Smooth Bay pitching it between horses and Beer Can Man. Here's Beer Can Man in between horses and Witty, and Smooth B 3 across the course, extreme outside. Grooms All Business, drop back is coming again. Grooms All Business and Witty. Grooms All Business.
Wow.
Oh man, the closer.
The Jim McKay turf sprint from Witty 2nd, Smooth B 3rd. Where's Ray 4th?
And Smooth B ran 3rd. So I don't believe I had that triple, but all I wanted to do is a 6 to run a decent race, and ran a decent race.
Well, I had the 1 in the contest.
Oh, nice. That moves you up a little bit. Yeah, I had the 6. I'm a wise guy. I'm looking for the 19 and 1 shot.
All right, let me. How close are we at Santa Anita? We got 2 minutes over there. Over the top with the 1. Yes.
Yeah, I try to, usually in these turf sprints, and again, we've gone through this before, it's not my strongest race to analyze, but I usually avoid the 1 post at these 5.5 furlong turf sprints. It's really, you've got to get out unless you're lone speed, and this horse wasn't lone speed. You got to get the trip. This horse to get to the outside. So I think most of the it's a nice, nice call, but I just have this aversion to the 1 post at 5.5, unless the horse has got the only speed or has got the speed advantage. And that may be one of the reasons I don't do so well on turf races. Automatically throw out the 1 horse. So
had a couple of good winners here. One at Woodbine, one over there at
nice.
Santa Anita, or Pimlico. And our next race, once we go off here at Santa Anita, is going to be Belmont at the Big A, race 10, 6 furlongs on the turf, David. So not the dash, as you like to call it. It's, it's still a sprint, but it's not the extreme sprint, right?
Yes. I do have an opinion here because I did single. I've got a pick 3 where I singled Leave No Trace. And we've gone through this before with Christopher Clement. And this case, I think he's got the 2 horses I want a part of. So I'm using both of them in my pick 3. I use the 7 Graham and the 9 Beach Cruiser. I think they're in good spots here. And you'll see, don't have any faith in that pick because I can never connect with Clement. I don't know what it is, but hopefully I do get one of them. Maybe there's a better chance when there's 2 in one race. So I pick both. So I think maybe I have a better shot. The jinx could be over. So I need a Clement horse to move forward in the pick 3.
All right. I like it. All right, we're loading up here at Santa Anita.
Okay, I have the 4 in the contest here.
Instinct Doro gets the first call, joined by Striking
I have
Thunder.
the other bolt.
And those 2 stride for stride. Square Doro is just outside of that pair. They're followed by Wins It Well, 3 off the pace in 4th. Down at the rail, Dapitan Star, Aloha Chrome between, and Thirsty Love 3 wide and last. Instinct Doro, Square Doro going at it past the half-mile pole. A length and a half, Wins It Well, center of the racetrack 3rd. Then Striking Thunder fourth. Aloha Chrome at the rail. Finds a little bit of a seam to try and move through. Followed by Thirsty Love and a gap of 5 to Dapitan Star. Approaching the quarter pole, Instinct Doro and Square Doro racing together as one. Now it's far back to Wins It Well in third. Steady headway for Aloha Chrome inside of him. They turn for home and Instinct Doro holding on to the lead. Shrugs off. Square Doro leads by 2. Aloha Chrome finishing with determination. Inside the 8 ball, Instinct Doro.
I think you're
Aloha
home, David.
Chrome's coming at him, but 4 lengths back. And with a 16th to go, Instinct Doro keeps on going.
Yep.
Instinct Doro in virtually wire-to-wire fashion. Aloha Chrome clearly second best.
See, Chris, it's a dirt race.
Uh-huh. What works, right? Okay, let me get on over to Belmont here.
No, it's Aqueduct.
Okay, sorry. We're over here at Aqueduct.
And I will tell you that sometimes it does, being a Naira guy, you think of Belmont at the Big A, it starts, you have that bias, like you're thinking the Belmont, the way the track is, usually the bias is, and so I got to get that. So last year it kind of screwed me up. I don't even call it Belmont at the Big A. I'm like, it's not Belmont at the Big A, it's the Big A. It's the Belmont meet, but I don't care about that. I know that Aqueduct track is totally different than the Belmont track. I mean, you've got mile and eighth at Belmont is a 1-turn race. Mile and eighth at Aqueduct's a 2-turn race, and the turf courses are configured differently. Yeah, so and you get mile races out of the chute at Aqueduct. I mean, yeah, so I just get that out of my mind. And last year I'm thinking Belmont at the Big A. I remember a horse who won at Belmont in the spring, so so that's out of my mind this year. So
Dusk is a money bag and a silver. Top win percentage, only one algorithm lining up here. It's got like 2 lengths back here. It's got the 11 winning, which is the long shot at 7-1. Been a while for a drink here, but Abreu here, he's only 9%. You get Trevor, you get a GSR improvement. You're right here at the strength of race. Thoughts? Everything you liked here, David?
Yeah, this is the Big A race, the turf. Yeah, let me just. It's 2 Clement horses. Yeah, so let me just. I'm going to lean on top. I'm using the 7 and 9. Both Clement horses in my pick 3, but I'm going to lean, if I was making a win wager, 2 Beach Cruiser. Basically second race off a layoff. The comeback race on April 20th was an off the turf race, and this horse was the favorite off the turf, which I don't know how that was possible. This horse is, look at its PPs, and she clearly is much better on her races are faster on the turf than her lone start on a sloppy dirt track. So I have no idea why she was favored that day. So going back to the turf, this is the spot that they want. This is Clement. He's a turf trainer primarily, and figured I'm not going to let Clement beat me on the 7 horse, which is off a layoff, because this horse does have a win at Saratoga, 5.5 furlongs, and a pretty decent 5 furlong win, or second at Belmont. But this is not Belmont. This is Aqueduct. So that could screw you up too. So yeah, so it's 9-7 for me. Either one, I'd be happy with.
Okay. We got a break after this until the next contest race at Pimlico, but we'll have some other races to cover in between. All right, let me get the audio up for this Aqueduct race. See where they're at. They're at the gate. And David, we have a new leader in the tournament. You want to guess who it is?
I was thinking it was going to be Chris Walsh after that win, but I just popped it up. It's David Harrison, $47.40 on top of, is it Derek Piedmont, $43.30. Jeff Soto, $42.90. Michael Brenner, $41.10, and Wiz missed his pick. He's in fifth at $39.40.
That's okay, Wiz.
All right.
Tim Yang, new to our chat. I think
approach the gate for race 10.
Horse racing in general, been using EE and doing well. 34.70. He's certainly not out of it. Pretty much anybody in about the top 11 or 12 just are a few picks away from getting some separation. We have 4 races to go. The next one will be Pimlico 12, Santa Anita 5, and then the Preakness. So 4 races over the next 2 hours in the contest, and then we'll cover live racing inside of that. As they're getting ready to get
And I should note that Chris Walsh does round out the top 10 at $29.20, definitely in contention.
And we'll see. I can't miss anymore, and I need to get some winners here. All right, 508.
I did see a question here from Bob. Dave, is Belmont being rebuilt to accommodate more fans? No. If you're not familiar with Belmont, Belmont is this huge, massive building, the grandstand, which can hold like 100. Well, I think it could hold like 60,000 in the stands, and they're shortening it up. The building is just not efficient anymore. It was built in the 60s when it was typical on a weekday to have 30, 40,000 people there. Things have really changed. So it was, it's outdated and it's a cavernous, and it's going to be much more compact, not as compact as Gulfstream, which is another issue, but their grandstand. But it's going to be more, supposedly less seats, more standing area. We'll see how it goes. I've seen the plans, but not the final.
And they're off. Rumet breaks well with early speed, also trying to be on the early mix. They're lined up. Comes Fancy Pants Juliana, is right there with the leaders. Towards the inside is Stolen Future, and they line up across the course. Up on the 4 outside, Weekend Rags is now tracking from 4th. It's 4 wide in that second grouping, is splitting rivals. Here comes Quick Power Nap with a move. At the rail, there's Burn. Rosie Burn is now in that second group of 3. And behind them, a very tight hold. Beach Cruiser wants to go. It's just held back here. It's towards the outside now. Going to be towards the tail end of the field with Graham. The 2 trailers, Burn, Rosie, Burn, with Liner Right. They throw it down up front. 22.49, but they are 3 across the course, and they are duking it out up front. Stolen Future, Rumet in between horses. 3 wide is Fancy Pants Juliana. Just off the pace was Weekend Rags, and here comes the run from Weekend Rags. Now Beach Cruisers in the clear, grandstand side chasing, but Stolen Future, Kendra Carmouche trying to run away with it. Weekend Rags from off the pace, and now here comes Weekend Rags lifting towards the outside of Stolen Future, who's very game to the inside. Inside that final 16th, Weekend Rags almost there. Weekend Rags, Fancy Pants Juliana, Weekend Rags got it done. Fancy Pants Juliana second. Then came a late run, the Liner Right from far out of it. Grabs third over Quick Power Nap. They won it at 9.3.
So the Clement jinx just follows me again. So that's for I think 101. I just can't break it. So I should just probably not bet Clement horses anymore. He's a good guy. I don't want to bring his stable down. And they didn't even hit the board, right? So
no. All right,
and another turf race, turf sprint.
All right. Well, here's 2 turns on the dirt for you at Monmouth. So let's
all right.
Play the race sim here and see if we can find something. Lovely Drama is a bronze horse to watch. The 8 out there cruising along at 1% on the win. Getting bet down a bit. 5 emerges. The 1 and the 6 right behind it. And as you get to the finish, looks like it's going to be the 1 over the 5 and the 6.
Yeah, the one's a big drop down, right? From 16,000 claimer to 7,500. This is bottom of the barrel, obviously, at Monmouth. Yeah, Charlie Baker usually ships some, but he does pretty well at Monmouth, shipping his horses down to the lower level claimers there. But I don't know. I'm not really too keen on this horse. This horse has been sprinting primarily. I know they're going a mile and 70 yards here. I'd probably be looking for somebody who's got more of a distance profile. And I'm not sure today, from what I've seen and what I've heard, the inside of Monmouth is not necessarily that great. Yeah, it's a tough race. I think I'd be probably going with the 3 here. This horse is run at a distance. Yeah, again, does show some speed. Sometimes these are inconsistent horses, dropping from 10 down to 62, 6,500. Yeah, I think I'll take a shot with the 3 here.
Has it way back here in those group of horses. Wayne and his Pots claimed this horse back in March in Tampa. I'm going to close the door.
The dogs are all fired up.
There we go. So Wayne and his Pots here on the 5. Has it pretty close here with the 1 winning. And then the 6 is the other one at 7-2. And those seem to be more of the likely ones. You do have the pace horse with Holy Berries here. But it's kind of been a long time here, and we're running at the same level. You got to really use the scroll button to go back to 22 when it won its last race. So, like you said, probably not the best race in the world, which is probably why it's not in the contest. But we'll take a look at this one as well.
Yeah, the 5. I'm sorry, the 6 is a drop down from 16 to 7,500. This horse has a chance. Lovely drummer off the claim. Basically stays at the same level from Tampa. Usually, when I look at a race like this, I'm looking for somebody who's had some form of success or experience over the Monmouth Strip. And the two Holy Berries does have a second over the track. The 3 who have some interest in, I mean, Juan Saray is off to Mario Saray. I'm thinking of Juan, the other Saray trainer. This horse, he's off to a really good start at this meet, 4 out of 10, 40%. So that's why I figured I'd give the 3 a shot at a price. Don't love the race, but yeah.
All right. Let's also take a look. We got Gulfstream Park Race 9 coming up in 3 minutes on the grass. Run through the race sim here. The 6 is top pick and is also a bronze horse to watch here. So we'll kind of see how this one works out. It's like you've got the 3 pace horses there. The 11 and 12 should be following. And then I'm sure it's going to have the 6 winning here at a nice square price of 8-1, David.
Which horse is that? I'm sorry, Chris.
The 6 at Gulfstream Park Race 9. No, it's got the 12. The 6
let me see who
That is nuts. So it's got the 12 over the 6, a 15-1 over an 8-1.
Yeah, the horse that I'm interested in is this 6, Riverwalk. Since this horse off his last race had improved, it's run its fastest race since this horse was racing at Gulfstream, and I have notes here on the 6, but yeah, the 6 is the horse that I have interest in, Riverwalk.
3-star work back in on the 12th. I think the important metric here, David, is it's not a Clement horse. Exactly.
And that can only be in my favor. And you know what will happen? I'll miss tomorrow. There'll be two Clement horses, and I won't be even playing the races possibly tomorrow. And I'll look at the results. I'm like, Clement won 2 races. A good thing I wasn't on them because he may not have won them. So good one. But yeah, let me pull up the Gulfstream 9th again, because I did have some notes where I did want to make a comment on somebody, but and it was Riverwalk, and there's an absolute reason I do like this horse. How many minutes to post do we have on this, Chris? Gulfstream 9th.
I think Monmouth is going to go off first.
Oh, okay. All right.
The three was a late scratch at Monmouth. I think you like that horse.
Yes. So then I'll go with the 6 instead. There's my backup.
And then Gulfstream is still dancing around. Monmouth is going to go off first here.
Okay, so we'll go with the 6.
Okay, I'm going to bring Monmouth up and get this one ready to
Not
show.
a major wager, but I will, since it's a race that we're showing, I will go with the 6.
And then we'll get over to Gulfstream.
Yeah, I was at Hollywood Beach earlier today, and I had my racing form out and my racing papers and all my notes from EquinEdge when I was going. Oh, here it is. I thought it might have blown away down the beach. I know something was a little windy.
Hypatia.
Oh, Riverwalk, May 12th, 4 furlongs, 47 and 3. Like that work.
1 back.
Second race off the claim. Blinkers, second time blinkers. Riverwalk. It's all Riverwalk for me.
Resumes tomorrow with a 10-race card. First post, 12.
Mike Maker.
See you then. But for now, enjoy this.
I have good success with Mike Maker, so nothing like Clement.
Single barrel bourbon on the far outside gets into the race early. Holy Berries takes the 2nd position. Nanasquan alongside. Afilada down on the rail as they sort themselves out, approaching the clubhouse turn. Holy Berries is the leader, clears off into the turn, leads by a length. Afilada on that rival's heels, running in 2nd. Single barrel bourbon to the outside of her. A gap of 2 to Nanasquan. Exaggeradora racing alongside of that rival. Those two 4 lengths off the loose leader. Holy Berries, who's clearly ahead, approaching the backstretch run. A big gap back to Lovely Drama at the rear. Hypatia alongside of her as the 7 fillies and mares swing up the backstretch. Holy Berries paves the way in the finale at 12-1, leads a length and 3/4. Afilada tipping outside into the 2-path to track in 2nd, and Single Barrel Bourbon outside of her. A gap of 2 to Nanasquan. Exaggeradora already pushed along with a half mile to go. She's 2 better than Hypatia down on the rail. Stays inside, approaching the 4-turn run, and now she gets a giddy-up reminder to get going. Takes the 6th position, now 5th around the 4-turn. And Lovely Drama at the back. They round the 4-turn here. There goes Afilada and Madison over to the lead, putting away Holy Berries, who's come on
Star Wars Factor being has been initiated on 2.
Plotting in place at the moment. Hypatia
continues
to grind away. She's a joint 3rd, now a joint 2nd, but has 4 lengths to gain on Afilada at 5-2. It's her race to lose coming off the turn. Afilada in front by 4. Nanasquan on the far outside getting into the 2nd position. Hypatia is next. Single Barrel Bourbon just battling for a minor award. 16 to go. Afilada, the mare by Keen.
Okay, perfect timing. Gulfstream.
To 1 respect for Riverwalk. Hector Diaz up for Mike Maker. Moving in to start the late pick 3.
David, we've had some
movement
on the leaderboard.
Yes, I noticed that.
We'll cover that.
Il Siciliano.
These guys came to play today. I love it.
Oh, yeah. They got it once. Let's see. Who had the 11?
13-1 on Il Siciliano. The market
Mike
mover here,
Saletta.
certainly the 7.
Good pick, Mike.
7-2 and holding at that number. First timer from the barn of George Weaver, Monopoly of Honor, Sonny Leone up.
Last night.
An expensive son of Not This Time.
I do like the price on the 6 Riverwalk here.
I do too.
Forced me to make a last-minute win bet.
Wonder, an Inherent
I did a 6-12 exacta box for $2.
Hey, good luck.
Inherent Promise going up.
26-1 on that 12.
On the outside, Sharp Wonder will complete the line.
A decent amount.
Oh, yeah.
They're at the post. And they're off. Lamcaro ridden hard for some early position. Mogo has speed. Here's the newcomer. Here's Monopoly of Honor charging to challenge. On the far outside is Sharp Wonders. They're 3 in line, past the wire the first time. Lamcaro a bit flat-footed at the break, but he secures the lead now over Monopoly of Honor in second, and out 3 wide goes Sharp Wonder in third. A great tracking spot for Mogo. Fourth at the inside. He's a length in front of Riverwalk, who races from fifth. He's 6 lengths behind. Back from there, Inherent Promise. He's a length and a half in front of Swift Delivery, who's toward the rail, and 8 off the lead. Another 2 to Il Siciliano, who's 2.5 in front of Awesome Life. Then Blue Spearman out the back early, while wide on the course, Son of a Slew. They complete a quarter in a rock-solid 22-3. They're rolling up front.
They're
On
flying.
the stretch-out, Lamcaro has the lead. Lamcaro to the half-mile point, a length and a half in front. Racing on the outside, second is Sharp Wonder at the rail. Mogo has had a sweet trip getting started 3 wide. Inherent Promise. On his back is Riverwalk, held up in traffic, Swift Delivery. Moving in from the back is Blue Spearman. On his outside, Son of a Slew. Il Siciliano gets the shuffle as they round the far turn. Edwin Gonzalez with an aggressive move at the quarter pole. He sends Inherent Promise clear to lead by 2. Mogo off cover to try to go get him. Riverwalk runs with him. They're at the top of the stretch. Inherent Promise has the lead. Mogo to the attack now, second down the center, and it's Riverwalk far outside Swift Delivery. They come past the 8th pole. Inherent Promise is in front, but Mogo's getting to him. Mogo on the outside, Inherent Promise toward the rail. Mogo wins. The money was spot on, and Mogo wore down.
7-11.
Okay, so it leads me to believe that Riverwalk doesn't want to go a mile, because the other mile race this horse ran, she kind of got a little tired late. So, Chris, I'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll get us over to the.
You hold down the fort.
Go over that.
Okay.
See what's.
All right. Be back in like 3 minutes.
Sure,
Thanks,
sounds good. All right, let's see. Where are we at here? First, let me go get you guys an update on the contest. We're kind of sitting pat here until we get to the Pimlico race at 5:52. That will be race 12. But the updated leaderboard is telling me that Jeff Soto has retaken the lead. It's $62.70. Michael Brenner hot on his tail at $60.80. Luke Catalano in third at $50.20. David Harrison, $47.70. And then we have a number of folks in the 40s there. Still folks that do have a shot here. That race will be coming up in approximately 30 minutes, something like that. So let me get over to my EE screen, take a quick look at the clock here, 5:25. So we should have Santa Anita coming up here. If I can get that up. We'll see if Santa Anita is anything interesting here. Maiden Claimers, 6 furlongs, magic account, 4 algorithms pointing to that. Should be on the lead, and it has it going gate to wire at 2-1, 41%. The 4 is interesting. Top GSR here for Sadler, dropping a little bit further. Gets Juan Hernandez today, who did not travel to Pimlico. Frankie did pick up his Baffert mount. So I don't know what you can make of this one, but Oldie would say you could make a hat or a brooch or something like that. But when you look at between the stretch here, maybe the 5 can contend a bit, but somewhat difficult. What did the sim show for the next 2 Pimlicos? Yes, Mike, you were due there. Apologize that I'm not getting all these up. I don't have the virtual machine, which is making it problematic to monitor the chat and do everything else, but we'll get over to, let's see, after Santa Anita, Woodbine was the next one we're going to show. So I'm going to do that one real quick, Jeff, and then we'll get to, oh, we do have a stakes race here. Small field, the 7. The 6 is the Bronze Shield. We'll run this pretty quick here. Looks like everybody is very close until we get to the finish, and it likes the 3 over the 6. So, and the 2 is very close as well. So take that into consideration. I will get us over to Pimlico. And here is your 9 furlongs on soft turf. Got the 5 winning, which is 5 and the 9, which is opposite of the top picks, and then a tone right there at 5-1. I looked at this. I did like a tone someone. It's just been so long that there have been drinks here, right? Way back earlier in the year at Gulfstream. Maker again, Siaz, certainly probably capable here, but we'll save the suspense with the Preakness and give you that one as well, and I'll run the last one for you also. Santa Anita is getting to the gate. When we get there, we'll show that live race in Woodbine, and we've got plenty of time before we get to Pimlico. How's everybody doing today? Everybody getting some winners? You hanging out? How are things going? Betting wise. So Mystic Dan, second pick. You got Catching Freedom, Seize the Gray, Imagination, all kind of right there, along with the 8 Tuscan Gold. That's the Caitlin Free pick. As we all know, she did nail that try and got 1 million views or more tweet. So, but that's what I'll run this one more time for the Preakness. All right. Wiz is doing good. Manny's doing good. We like to see that. Hope the rest of you are as well. As they run through this. What I want to know is what kind of bourbon is Mike Soletta, what is he drinking? I know he went to the liquor store. He sent us pictures. I'm rocking the Blanton's in the coffee cup. And there you go. The Get Out race, if any of you played the late pick 5, we'll run that one for you too. I'm going to go to the finish here. We'll rerun that. It's a very contentious finish. I'm going to get over to Santa Anita. And Woodbine will be next.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, Chris. Took a little longer than I thought.
We're going to watch this Santa Anita race here. I just gave them the race sims for the last 3 at Pimlico, and right after this, we'll hop on over to Woodbine. First, we're going to turn off Robert Giller. Stakes race coming up at Woodbine. Smallish field.
Mm-hmm.
But happy to have Woodbine back in our rotation. Appreciate them for letting us show their live racing. And we're really going to make a concerted effort to get a hold of Del Mar in the summer, especially for those Friday night, 7 p.m. starting time races on the East Coast. Very good window, 7 to 10.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think this at Woodbine here, this Marcassi horse with Water Sand, that's the horse that's going to be really tough to beat, I think.
Wow, 3 just weird gate issues and everything else, and we took it to him. It's like too much, though. That rush up is rarely a good tactic. Well, we'll see. Six, 3, 5. What did you notice there, David, with the audio? You actually could hear the crowd, right?
Where is this?
Oh, well, unfortunately, I was an idiot and didn't add it to the stage. But Santa Anita, it looks like we got the...
I was watching a Santa Anita here. I wasn't sure what you were doing. I didn't hear any audio at all.
Yeah, that's because
the 6. Yep, the 6-1 at Santa Anita.
Yeah, we don't have our normal setup, unfortunately. I apologize for that.
All right, no worries.
Add it to the screen, but I will remember to do that next time. Let me get see what's next. What is it? 5:35. I think we got the last at Aqueduct, David.
Yes, and because I was alive, well, I'm no longer alive in the pick 3, but the one horse, I used a couple in there, but the horse that I really am going to probably make a wager on, or I would make a wager on, is let me just get my bearings here. No, it's not a Clement horse, right? So I might have a chance. And this is a turf mile and a 16th, so I have a fighting chance here. The horse that I had an interest in this race was the 8, Our Finest Hour. This was formerly a Chad Brown horse. This horse has had 3 starts at Laurel, Gulfstream, and Tampa. I just think that this, with the trainer change, this horse sitting an outside trip, I think this horse is going to be tough. It's a wide open race. I didn't have a huge handle on it, but Maker's got also the 6 horse, the Taco Lady, who's going to be the clearest speed. And there's some other speeds in this race. If you do the race simulator, I'd be interested to see what kind of pace we're going to get. So when Maker has 2 horses, especially 1 speed, Our Finest Hour is the closer. it suits Trevor McCarthy because in my eyes, Trevor's more of a closing type of jock. He would rather close than be on the lead, or that's just what I've noticed from him in the past since he's arrived on the New York circuit. So I think there'll be enough pace, and this horse will sit a trip on the outside and have a good shot turning for home. So I used the two maker horses in my original pick 3 that I'm out of. It would have been the 6 and 8, but I'll place a win bet on the 8.
So, David, the 6 barely gets the lead at the first call and then does not have the lead anywhere else, according to the race simulator.
Right.
Finishes far back. It's got the 1 winning by over 2 lengths over the 4.
Daddy Gordon's horse, yeah.
Yeah. So the 4 is the second pick. It's 16-1 here. First time starter, Tom Morley. I believe doesn't really do good with these, but he's not a bad trainer, and he's certainly someone to get the horse ready for sure. 5 can't sell for Chad. That's all I need to know there. The Taco Lady is the maker that you talked about for Dylan, and the 8 was the other one. I think you said you liked the other maker.
Yeah. Just Deny now comes out of the stronger, the stronger races. It comes out of two Saratoga races and a Keeneland second race off a layoff. Yeah, this horse is going to be tough, but I just think because of the inside post, it's going to have to really work out a trip. And I'm taking a shot that the 8 will have a better position on the outside, and so yeah. Actually, I'm sorry. I had my ticket wrong. I used 3 horses in a pick 6. It was 1, 6, 8. So thanks for pointing that out with the 1 horse. Yeah. But
right.
So right now I'm leaning. Well, I'm not leaning. I would place a win wager on the 8.
The 8, 9-1, 9-2 EE morning line, 6-1 morning line.
Field steps onto the turf course, approaching the gate for race 11.
Value there for sure. I'll let you take them here. Looks like the wife got home. I'm going to see what she brought me. So,
okay.
Anxiously awaiting that.
All right. Hopefully it's something good.
Hopefully it is. I gave her a few different options. I'm hoping she didn't choose her favorite.
All right, so we're getting into, let me pull up my screen for.
You should have audio going too on this.
Oh, audio, okay. We're going to have audio going for the Big A, which they classify as Belmont at the Big A. To me, it's the Big A at the Big A. Just the Belmont condition book. Now, right now, Justin Nye is taking late money. It's the 7-5 favorite. Chad Brown's horse on the outside. The 9 horse Apparet de Revel.
Horses are at the gate.
It's 3-1.
It's time for race 11.
5 Chantilly Road, another Chad horse, is 7-2.
11 and final.
And then we have the next choice is the horse that I'm trying to get home. 8, Our Finest Hour at 9-1. So we've got Justin I as the favorite and the 2 Chads as second and third choices. Good luck, everybody. See if we can get Our Finest Hour.
Our Finest Hour is Sunday Tiff. Chantilly Road. Chantilly Road goes in. Just hesitates. Last to load, Opera de Revel. And it. All set. And they're off. Opera de Revel broke outward but didn't lose much ground. Chantilly Road is up with the lead, and right there is Sunday Tip towards the inside. As they quickly come out of the chute, and there's Just So Pretty. Just So Pretty is now going to challenge for that early lead with Chantilly Road. Who looks to take back here, is now going to take off the lead. And Just So Pretty will lead him towards that turn. They get stacked up in behind as Chantilly Road tapped on the brakes, moves towards the outside into the 2-path. Opera de Ravel is now 3 wide, very tough to handle. The Taco Lady is in between horses, wants to go, is in between horses there without the rail. Sunday Tiff, saving all the ground, is now shared third. In behind them in the 6th position comes Justin I, is in the pink silk. Second to last will be Our Finest Hour with the Triller. Autumn's Turn. Moderate tempo early, 23-1. Just So Pretty, slowing things down up top. It's Just So Pretty at 12-1. There's Chantilly Road. Stalking position 49.35. The posted half-mile time. They did slow things down up front. Sunday,
pretty slow.
Towards the inside, in between horses, the Taco Lady, and in that group, there's Opera de Ravel. Moving forward is still that challenging third. Justin I, patiently ridden. Pink Silks is now moving towards the outside for an outside run. Still towards the back. Our Finest Hour and Autumn's Turn has trailed throughout. Trying to run them off their feet right now. It's Just So Pretty. Katie Davis and Just So Pretty. They've got the lead. They reach the top of the lane. Chantilly Road is right there. Down towards the inside is Sunday Tiff. Here comes Opera de Ravel, is ready to challenge down the center of the course. Just So Pretty trying to find more. Chantilly Road fully in pursuit in between horses. Just So Pretty to the inside, to the outside Chantilly Road. And here comes Opera de Ravel towards the outside, now lifting. It's Chantilly Road, Opera de Ravel, down to these two. Chantilly Road to the inside, Opera de Ravel. Chantilly Road wins the finale. Chantilly Road over Opera de Ravel. Flying on it was Justin I, Just So Pretty, and Sunday Tip Tip. At 1 minute 44 seconds left.
Got a Chad Brown on top.
That will
All right, looking for value. Did not serve me any purpose in that race, but we gave it a shot.
All right, we'll get over to, looks like our choices are Gulfstream right here. We've got 6 minutes here. This is 10K, going 2 turns on the synthetic. We'll take a quick look at this. We do have Pimlico coming up in about 9 minutes. So we'll look at those 2 races, and they should be kind of close, I think, in terms of when they go off. So how excited are you about Gulfstream adding synthetic? I mean, not Gulfstream, but Belmont.
Oh, I am not a big fan of that at all. I'm not a big synthetic type of guy. Once Gulfstream installed a torpedo track, I was kind of bummed out. I understand they do get a lot of rain at Gulfstream, especially during rainy season down here, but I was never a big fan. When Keeneland converted over to their synthetic, I really wasn't interested. I very rarely play Turfway. To me, I grew up with dirt and turf, and all the great horses I watched in the past. There were dirt or turf horses, right? John Henry on the turf, Forgo, Seattle Slew, Affirmed Alidar. It's to me, I understand it's all about handle, right? When they take races off the turf, they whittle it down to a smaller field. There's a lot of horse players that are reluctant to play off tracks for some reason I don't understand, but that's not my style. I actually like the varying conditions, and I think it's more of a challenge to get an off track here or there, because you put the thinking cap on and the handicapping gets a little more challenging. It's like, okay, I know this horse ran well on an off track. Sometimes you get value. I mean, I've seen 12 horse fields on a turf reduced to 6 horse or 7 horse fields at Saratoga, and a horse who was on the turf morning line, 3-1 gets overbet. There's value in every race. I mean, I can pick up a 10-1 shot in a 5 horse field that's off the turf race, and I can document that a number of times where you can get value out of her. So I'm not a big fan. I don't want the same track condition every day. That's just not my style. So that, and when I saw that synthetic at Belmont, like I said, I'm not a big fan.
I agree with everything you said. So okay. I think one thing that screwed up Gulfstream was where they put the synthetic course. It really impacted the turf courses, in I think in a negative way. And that would be my only comment there. At Belmont, that the synthetic race is going to be, I believe, on the inside, right?
Yeah, the plans I've seen is a synthetic race on the synthetic track on the inside, then the turf course, and then the main the dirt course.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think those synthetic races are going to be. I think that the way the synthetic course is going to end up playing at Belmont is going to be much like the one-turn miles play at Saratoga, where the outside posts are going to be severely impacted because it's going to be super tight with the turf, with the synthetic on the inside. Where they put it at Gulfstream, it had the opposite effect with the turf courses. So, and I think it kind of robbed the Pegasus turf race there to a certain extent because it's a little bit more difficult. But in any event, we've got Gulfstream coming up here. I'm monitoring that. We have 5 minutes to Pimlico. So David, I'll flip this over to Pimlico and let you talk about the penultimate race before the Preakness.
Right, the turf race. This is an interesting race. And again, the turf course is still, I would assume, is still being labeled as soft, correct?
That's what
Yielding,
I have. EquinEdge is reporting. That's what Equibase is giving us.
Okay. Now, these are, repeat suspects here. I know these horses very well. We're talking about a stakes race on the turf. We've got a tone, which I'm normally not a fan of a tone, but the thing is, I'm looking for form here on soft turf, and there's not many horses that do have that. Okay, however, a tone, I believe if you go back on a tone to 2021, a tone had a win on a soft turf course, and let me pull that up here.
Right here, 9/6/21 Saratoga yielding.
Yeah, so that gives me a little bit of confidence in this horse. So I'm going to use I'm not, like I said, a tone hasn't won since I believe they at the Pegasus Day, right, in 2023, and I thought that horse was overbet that day, but that was a grade 1 race, but to me, that was a grade 2 field. It was not a real strong field that day. So that's why a tone won, in my opinion. So I just think this horse needs a perfect trip. And again, how many starts have we had since that? I mean, he's run some decent races. Yeah, but I think the soft turf course might move this horse way up. So I'm forced to bite the bullet here and use a tone. And the other horse I liked was on the outside.
Very wide to the first turn while trying to rectify that is the favorite Smart Spending.
Yep.
Dropping back a touch is Wicked Wisdom. The early trailer is Dubstep. The early leader is Winning at Ease. Winning at Ease heads around the turn, taken on by Slime Queen. Their heads apart. 3 back to Barbara. She's now third. Current situation as the second choice races from fourth now. Smart Spending's on her outside. Nothing But Pumps is at the rail. She's gone 6 ahead of the 2 laggards at the back. They include Dubstep and the trailer Wicked Wisdom. They went to opening quarter in an energetic 23-3 as they race to the half-mile grounds. At the rail, it's Sunny Leone and Winning at Ease in front narrowly. Slime Queen is up alongside, keeping the heat on in second. Tugging into third is Smart Spending. At the rail, Current Situation. Shuffling back is Barbara. 3 wide, Nothing But Pumps. Dubstep with pace ahead of her starts to get a rally together, only 4 lengths off the lead. And the trailer a long way, Wicked Wisdom. They shuffle the deck and round the fore turn. Smart Spending taken on now by Nothing But Pumps, who shoves a half length in front. Smart Spending is second, but she's been on a prolonged bid, and now she appears to have to flatten out a touch, doesn't she? On the outside, it's Dubstep back to fourth, and Barbara. They're at the top of the stretch. Nothing But Pumps turns for home on top. Trying to re-rally Smart Spending down the center, and Dubstep, there's an 1/8 of a mile to go, and Nothing But Pumps has bid this field a pleasant Saturday good afternoon. Here's Eliza EquinEdge for his second riding victory of the day. Here's Nothing But Pumps. From another area code, Wicked Wisdom is up for second while charging hard. About 5 ahead of Smart Spending third, then Current.
All right, there. Well, you had an upset winner there to a certain extent, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice price. Nice price. So we'll go back to this Pimlico race. So, so Atone does have some form on a soft or yielding course, right? The other horse I'm really interested in is the 9 Beatbox. Beatbox on February 17th in a grade 3, won by a neck on a course labeled as soft. So there you go. And has run, well, it's kind of spotty on good turf course. So that's all I need to know. This horse is competitive here. So those are the 2 horses that have confirmed form on a soft turf course. The other horse I was using was the 5 Running Bee, Chad Brown's horse, and has won on a last start at Keeneland, won on a turf course labeled as good. But if you look at this other good turf courses at Keeneland, it's also won. So he's got some form, but there's also 2 good turf courses that this horse didn't fire at all. So I'm not sure if the soft is really going to move this horse up. So it's some combination of 4, 5, 9. I'm trying to beat the 5 with the 4 or the 9. So the way I'd be approaching this is probably using the 4, 9 exactas, and then with a saver, using the 5 as a backup with those 2 horses.
Yes, Mr. B, we will be showing the race live, as long as I can remember to do the right keystrokes and get us there.
All right. Who did you like here, Chris?
I shared your opinion on Atone. I wondered somewhat here with the 11. I know it's a big price here, but it's run good on a good turf course. Delacour has done okay today, and he's doing okay. You could find this one away underneath. Right, it's won all over the place at different good label things, and it's hard to tell what that really means. But I wouldn't sleep on the 11 Eons, but I also wouldn't bet the farm on it either.
Right, and I noticed the two races, Japan Cup last year at Laurel, with an outside post, ran a good second. Yamamoto was the winner of that race, so that's a quality horse, obviously. Yeah, I mean, that horse looks like a sleeper. It's a Maryland horse, right? Has raced at Kentucky Downs and had a decent 3rd place finish. Mostly race at Keeneland. Yeah, but mostly a Maryland circuit horse. So sometimes it's horses, you know, that has this horse ever? Oh, and it's won over the Pimlico course. 3 starts on Pimlico turf course. We've got a 1st and a 3rd. So yeah, no, I can see that. I mean, you're getting 17 to 1. Sure.
Jennifer in the house, welcome. I believe you had a good weekend last weekend, so thanks for joining. Hit the like button, folks. I haven't begged for that in, I don't know, 2-3 hours. So hit the like button, crush that, log in as your kids, hit it again, do what you have to do. Great director. Thinks the 3 here, Balnikov, can make some noise. It's Balnikov. Super easy.
Balnikov. I can pronounce Balnikov, right? That's because I'm a hockey fan. There's so many Russian players. I can pronounce Russian names better than Polish names, even though Polish is part of my heritage.
No.
English B.
All right. Good luck, everybody.
Balnikov and crabs and beer.
We've got.
I'm hoping for 4-9 exact. 9-4, 4-9, 5-4-9, something like that.
Right after this race, David, we're going to head over to Churchill. We can't show that one, but their first race goes off at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
We'll take a look over there, and we'll get over there shortly.
Eons. Mile and 8th lined up. After the dinner party. Up here to clean break. Helms Deep, and there goes a tone over the early lead. Between horses is Running Bee. Helms Deep has a narrow lead. Running Bee and a tone right there down to the inside. And next is Beatbox and the far
The
inside.
11 needed to be
Followed by
closer to the
Highland
fence,
Chief.
I think.
Crabs and Beers in between horses, already a half.
We'll see what the pace is. This might be pretty rapid.
And English Bee racing third to last. And
out there
Eon's
all
unhurried in the
alone.
back of the pack. And Balnikov will have to pass them all into the first turn run here, where it's Helms Deep. Helms Deep up top because the opening quarter 26-1 on the soft going leads it from
26-1.
second and Running Bee on the outside.
That's got to be a deep, soft course.
Between horses in fourth. Inside English Bee, then Beatbox out of the clear, about 6 lengths on the front in that group of horses. Crabs.
Oh, there's the jockey cam.
By Eons.
Oh, I love it.
Last about
It's
10
quick.
from the front. Helms Deep, the one to catch. Helms Deep. With 4.5 furlongs left to go, leads Running Bee, now a length and a half in front. And on the inside is Highland Chief in third, and Tone fourth. Inside there is English Bee, who's next, and to the outside is Beatbox ahead of the turn. And so
Tone
Helms
could
Deep
be
and
sitting in a
Running
good
Bee
spot.
there on the outside, Highland Chief out of the inside, and a Tone is on the move. On the far outside is Beatbox, who's trying to pick up the rhythm into the final turn, the far turn with less than 3/8 to go. And here is Running Bee, who's come away with the lead. Room for Highland Chief. Highland Chief down to the inside, sneaks right on through the top of the lane. So Highland Chief trying to punch on through. It's Running Bee a narrow lead. Highland Chief swinging outside now is a Balnikov, who's come way back in the pack.
Balnikov, here comes the three.
Whoever likes Balnikov.
Balnikov is just in front with a furlong left to go. And Frankie Dettori and Balnikov storming home from Crabs and Beer, who's running to second. There's Balnikov. Balnikov, a win by 2 in the dinner
Good
party.
call. Excellent
Crabs and
call.
Beer was second.
Who had that one?
That's great director.
Great director.
Good call. Good call. Yeah, I'm not a big Tone fan, and I'm less of a Tone fan after that performance. He was closer to the pace than normal, and then just packed it in. That horse. Yeah, forget the soft turf first. So now, does Balnikov have any soft turf background? I noticed it's mostly a Santa Anita horse. It's a West Coast horse, right? Yep.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Yeah. So that shows you sometimes you overanalyze the race because of the course condition.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, when I look back, if I have, you know, there's justification for, I can't play a horse really with any serious bankroll that hasn't won or performed on that course condition or racing on today. So, yeah, no. And he comes out of some strong races. Yeah, there's a class edge probably here. Yeah, because
Rodney's right here. He should have toned for that race.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and that's like I said. I wasn't a big Tone fan, and I'm not using a Tone anymore.
No, Tone is out of the stable.
He's out.
Right,
That's it.
Let's take a quick look here as they get ready to go into the gate here at Churchill. And a maiden claimer here, 2-year-olds 40K. That's your first call. 4.5 here, David. So a dash on the dirt. We'll find out how good you are with this. The sim race has it 3 over the 7. 9-1, and it's the EE top pick. Track is on fire, so these 2 picks here, I make sure I'm sharing. I am. These 2 picks here are hitting in a pretty good clip, and the 4 is the silver horse to watch. 12-1 morning line, 9-5 EE morning line being bet down to 7-2. I'm going to take a stab with this 3, David. Third off, DeSormo. Horse has been working okay. You got some Bruno notes here.
Yeah, I'm just pulling it up. Just give me a second, Chris. And this is a 4.5. This is a 2-year-old race, obviously.
Yep.
There's a race that normally, if I'm at the track, if I was at Churchill today, this is a race I absolutely have no interest in wagering on. And if I would use any possible horizontal plays, I'd be looking for Wesley Ward, right? But there's no Wesley Ward in here. And
for Big Town Butterfly, Big Town Amy Rose.
Yes, John Ennis is pretty good with 2-year-olds. I would use Case Ace here, but with no confidence whatsoever. The 9,
Yeah,
I'm beside the 7.
Small win bet on the 3, and then a 3-7 exacta and then I'll do another dollar box.
They're in the gate.
357.
And they're off, and Bottoms Up comes blasting out of the starting gate and is quickly in front as they head for the far turn. Baytown Butterfly, Baytown Amy Rose, second and third, and chasing Case Ace. On the far outside is fourth, Herbalize toward the inside fifth, and American City's at the back in sixth. Round the far turn, Bottoms Up, short lead. Here comes Baytown Butterfly, cranking up the pressure, and Baytown Amy Rose is three wide, keeping pace with them. These three have gone clear by 7. Case Ace, American City, and Herbalize toward the inside. They're off the turn. Bottoms Up gives up the lead. Baytown Butterflies in front, 3/16 to go. But Bottoms Up is battling on. 1 furlong to go. Bottoms Up trying to come back on Baytown Butterfly, who just keeps on going. And Baytown Butterfly opening up to the wire. It will be 3 lengths in the end. Bottoms Up was second. Herbalize managed to grab third, and American City was fourth.
Well, that's the EE long shot to start off the card there on the Churchill evening program. Looks like Woodbine is going into the gate now, so we'll skip Woodbine and flip on over to Sanity. It should be coming up pretty close as we head into our final hour here. $25,000 claimers here, David, doing 6.5 furlongs on the Santa Anita turf course. Taking a quick look at what the race sim has to say. Has the 7 in the lead, the 7 still there, and then the picture changes when you start to turn for home. The 9, and then it's got the 9 winning over the 2, 8, and 1. It kind of mirrors what the top picks are. Pinehurst, if you're a golf fan, great set of golf courses there. Bill D'Amato here looking for back-to-back victories. Did you look at this one at all? Do you have any thoughts? Just a skipper or the 4?
No, I just looked at it briefly here. I know this is in the contest, but how many minutes to post do we have here?
Not many.
Yeah, this is one race I left blank in my contest because I wanted to make sure I didn't get shut out when I was doing the show. But I just put it. I used the 2, the EE second pick for my contest. I'm just trying to pull up reasoning for that. I do know that I had a reasoning, but at this point, we're just going to let it fly because I need to get a little better of a price because I'm in 4th or 5th place, or maybe even worse than that. So at this point, I'm looking for a little price, and we're getting 6 to 1. So I need 6 to 1. So that's the contest world. I'll use the 2 horse.
Yeah, I like your thoughts there. Can't disagree with that. I was down to the 1, 2, or 7 in terms of contest play. One of them is going to obviously have to go, and it's probably going to be the Hanson horse, but we'll see. We've got a few minutes to determine that. There are 0 minutes to post here. Let me get Santa Anita up.
So I'm like $16 off the lead. So this is where it becomes, with what, 2 races left to go? Just for contest purposes, because right now in 5th, I'm off the board with the prize pool. So similar to tournament play, it's not. It becomes at this point, at least for me, not who you like, is who you need. So I figure if I can get a 6 to 1 shot here, it'll give me about 18 or 20, which would get me right up in the pack. And since there's only 1 race left, and the horse I really liked in the Preakness may not be that huge of a price, but I need to go 2 for 2 here. So let's start off with a 6 to 1 shot.
All right, just to recap, Jeff Soto's still in the lead at $67.70. Michael Brenner, $60.80. Shaul, if I pronounced that right, got up to 3rd, which is in the money at $50.30. Lou Catalano a dime back at $50.20, and then the NHC champ David Harrison at $47.70 in 5th. So still anybody's game if you can pick the right long shot here. Kind of a festive affair. We had 30 entries here. Very nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And Derek isn't going to win, so that makes me happy. He won't be able to win 3 in a row. Will still be 2.
Going through the three-peat, huh?
And we were doing these on Wednesdays at the end of the Gulfstream and Tampa meet because it was kind of a good Wednesday day. You know, I think we were playing. We weren't advertising them out to the world. We were playing them just in our chat, and we just told everybody just play one entry, $22, and everybody did one entry and kind of kept it even, right? The $10 ones, you know, play 2. That makes more sense. But we'll look to do more of these as we get through the summer. But there's a lot of tracks that are excluded from these as well, which is also.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And great director. No, I understand. No, listen. Very good point about Balinikov's Irish, the Ireland record. Yeah. That's called David having to do more research. Thanks for putting that out there. Many times the Europeans run on soft turf courses, especially in Ireland. So good call. Good call.
Yes, Bill. Scotty picks as it should be. It took us like 6 months to just say EE picks.
Dr. Soulfire comes up. Pinehurst to the outside.
Who do you have here, Chris, in the contest?
In the contest, I took the 7 and the 1.
Okay, I've got the 2.
That was
Blaine
the one I
George is out very quickly and will vie for the lead. He's joined by Phoenician Ghost up alongside in second. Those two a length and a half in front of Quagmire Magic third as they cross the dirt. And Pinehurst inches up now, takes that third spot. Sky Cloud is next. The gray is Vorpal coming through at the rail, only 2 lengths off the lead. And Pete's Old Fashioned racing between rivals, 4 in front of Gustoso and Dr. Soulfire at the back. The lead belongs to Blaine George over Phoenician Ghost. Vorpal is on the inside. They're followed by Pete's Old Fashioned, Quagmire Magic, Pinehurst deepest of all. 2 clear of Sky Cloud, Dr. Soulfire, and another 4 to Gustoso. Midway on the far turn, Phoenician Ghost and Blaine George head and head for the lead. Vorpal just waiting for a spot to run. He's pouncing in third. And outside of them comes Pinehurst in fourth. Down at the rail, Dr. Soulfire has a dream spot if he's good enough. There's an 1/8 of a mile to go. On the inside, Dr. Soulfire has saved every inch of ground. Vorpal in the center of the course. Blaine George is still there, a 16th to go. And Dr. Soulfire's home free. Dr. Soulfire scores by 3. Vorpal was clearly
Soulfire in front
of Blaine George and Phoenician Ghost.
Okay, so as far as the contest world is, let me see here. As far as that goes, so there's 1 race left, and that's the Preakness. Okay. So now my pick in the contest is going to be different than my pick for real money in the Preakness, obviously, because we'll see what the leaderboard looks like. But again, those of you who haven't played live NHC tournaments, and it gets to the point where, I mean, if you're not in the top 3, if you're not 4th is no better than last, right? So it gets to the point where you just, at this point, you have to bite the bullet, and which I have to do for the contest, and just use the horse that's going to get me up in the top 3 if I like it or not, right? And then that's why, the contest world is a lot different than your normal day-to-day play. So, and I'll have an obviously normal day-to-day play on the Preakness. So.
All right, David. Well, we've had a few of these today, and we've got another one here. How about a stakes race at Gulfstream, 5 furlongs on the turf? Your specialty.
Oh, I'm going to. If I said I was going to pass, or well, this is my last chance for redemption, right, on today. So, and did you say there's a stakes race?
Yeah.
Oh, my stakes race percentage at 5 furlong sprints is a little better. So instead of 1%, I think I'm 3.5% success rate, excuse me, with these races. But yeah, let me just pull up my notes on Gulfstream because I know I did look at this race because it was a stakes.
95,000. Nothing really exciting. That's a normal race.
Yeah, like an overnight stakes. Yeah. Yeah, I have to tell you, I'm here at the South Florida handicapping room, and I will tell you, it's a little more disorganized than my Western New York handicapping office because my wife's around up there. She's not here with me, and she's around to organize me and straighten things up. Again, I'm missing my notes for Gulfstream Park. I apologize. Just give me a minute or two. We got a few minutes, right, Chris? And
yeah,
we probably have like an hour before the Preakness goes off, so we got plenty of time. And we can spend a lot of time on a Preakness then too, which I think will be valuable.
We're down to we've got Golden Gate after this Gulfstream race, Golden Gate, Churchill, Santa Anita, Churchill, and then the Preakness at the top of the hour. So the race sim here likes the 2 as the winner. It has the 1 right behind, which is the long shot. The 2 is the top pick. The 6 is right back of that, along with the 4, which is 4 to 5. So if you don't like the 4 at 4 to 5, which is a Breeders' Cup dropper, or a Breeders' last ran in the Breeders' Cup ran 6th out at Santa Anita. George Weaver, which is a whole separate story that we could do 20 minutes on with that unfortunate positive test that he has. But we're not going to get into that. And I think we all agree that certain things are obvious and some things are not as obvious, but that one's pretty obvious. So if you can drop the 4 here, David, you could probably make some money somewhat.
Yeah, I did find my notes, and obviously Crimson Advocate comes out of the Breeders' Cup turf sprint, right? And that's a race where George Weaver had 2 horses in, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now my first note was, hey, George Weaver's also got the 3 horse in here. That's first time on turf, raced on synthetic, and won with a pretty decent race at 13 to 1.
That horse
and so, yeah, then I see it scratched. So there goes my angle, and I mean, I just don't see how. You know, what's the odds on this live 4 to 5?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I probably would just is a race I would pass. I mean, if this was a mandatory race at the NHC, I'd probably look for a possible long shot to get second because I never want to use a 4 to 5 shot. So that's why real money day-to-day play is a little different because I think this horse is probably a lock, and it's the last race on the card at Gulfstream.
Yep.
So unless I'm alive to it with some horizontal wagers, I'd probably just sit it out. And so I'm not going to look for a second or third choice here. And if it was a contest race, I don't know. I'd probably go with the other horse I would have went with was Test Factor, Rowan Curtin's horse, but I just don't see anything else in here. So I'm going to just say that 4 Crimson Advocate is a lock, and no reason to even look anywhere else.
I'm going to make it just a small win bet on the 1. One of those action bets, right, where I'm up on the day.
Yeah.
So I'll put a little action here, but it's one of those ones where you put a small amount on whatever your play is, 5, 10, 15, or 20.
Exactly, and I'm glad you pointed that out because I've gone through this with novice horse players before, and friends of mine who want to try to, it's just, you know, with the NHC thing, they want to try to learn the game. So they think I play major dollars on every race that I play, which I don't. For my real wagering, I'm very, very selective. It's not uncommon for me to go to Saratoga when I lived there in a 12 race card, excuse me, and maybe play 3 races, 3 solid races. Now, there are 2 different wagers I have. One is for the serious, for ROI, to, you know, we're in this game to make money, correct? So I will use 3 races, or I'm very selective like that. I'll pass many races. And then the B section, that's A. The B is entertainment races or action races. I'm sitting at home. I'm at the track. I hate the race, but I'm here. So I'm going to be very conservative and box, say, triple, or, you know, I would say, you know, $5 exacta box, or something, or just a crazy, you know, superfecta for $2 or $4 or $10. Yeah. I had entertainment. Yeah, here we go. I can't figure out the race. And then this is a real race. I may go Saratoga first 3 races I don't like. I'm there. I might either pass a race or entertainment person, or I'm home watching you guys' show. But then I key on races. So it's entertainment plays and races, wagers for ROI or, you know, serious wagers.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, whatever your comfort level here is. But the funny thing is, when you win these, like, you know, if you're like a $10 win bet person and you hit the one at 9-1, you always be like, damn it, I should have put 50 on it, right? That's
exactly.
Yeah, and you got to like break a little bit of that, and we'll get some of that. I'm gonna pump the book I've got back here in the back corner, and when we get a little bit of a break here, as we get towards the Preakness. We got Golden Gate coming up, and that's a short field, so we're probably going to skip that and get into Churchill here. Is this one?
Chris, I just wanted to respond to a great director. Yeah, good question. In contest races, especially in HC, when it's a mandatory race, and if I say, for instance, Corporate Power, that race was a mandatory at the NHC. If I love the horse, I will use that horse, because if it's a mandatory race, don't forget how many people are going to have that horse. How many horse players are going to be there? If you miss that horse, what'd that horse pay? $5, so it's $8. You missed that $8, and that could be the difference between making the cut or missing the cut. So in the mandatories, just pick a winner and move on. I can't begin to tell you the year I won how many 5-2 shots, 3-1 shots I had in mandatories that won. Or I even loved the 2-1 shot. That's about my limit. I won't go any. And I just thought the horse could not lose, and the horse won, and that's another $9. So if you add up 3 or 4 mandatories over the weekend, and you had $9, I mean, that's 30, 35, 40, 45 bucks. So every little bit counts. But if it was an optional, probably would just pass it and bet it for real money.
Yeah, and we'll get into that right after this race.
Out in the middle goes Lighting Clouds, and out kicked early is Sir Flash, and the run past the half-mile point. Esperon's on a mission here. He's opened a 4-length lead. Second is Crimson Advocate Okiro. Tighten up for racing room, but Zaya stayed with him, and now he's through at the rail. Outside, that's No Name. Then it's Reef Runner ahead of Sir Flash as they race to the top of the stretch. The opening quarter demolished, 20 seconds flat. Wow. They run to the top of the stretch. It's Esperon who has to get tired. On the outside, Crimson Advocate takes aim second. Wow. 3 back to Okiro, outside and Reef Runner at the rail, Sir Flash. They come past the 8th pole. Now Esperon is getting tired, and here comes Crimson Advocate on the outside, Reef Runner. From between, Sir Flash is a big number, but Crimson Advocate proves best. Up there for second was Reef Runner.
All right. Okay, there you go. And also, I just wanted to respond before we move on. Mike, I saw that you live in Alden, New York, and that's about an hour from Rochester. Well, welcome aboard. Yep. I've never been there. I think that's a rural area, correct? And just so you know that we've only lived in Rochester for like 7 years, so I don't know some of the surrounding areas, but I did hear of Alden. I think that's east of us, correct, rather than west towards Buffalo. So I have heard of Alden, New York. Yeah.
The feed is lagging because we do not have our virtual machine this week due to some security issues. So we will have that back next week. Much easier when I blast that off from the cloud and it goes straight to the internet pipe. Looks like Alan Hancock hit his bet, so way to go. Boom. Very nice. Couple people.
Well, I won't say, Ascot, when I hit a 4 to 5 shot or a 3 to 5 shot, I don't go boom. I just I smile and move on. I go boom for anything like over 10 to 5, 10, or it got to be 10 to 1 for me to go boom. And I think the only boom I had today was the without a trace. That's a boom for me. Yeah.
All right, we're going to get into Churchill here in just a few minutes. Allow me a second here to get situated to make sure that I don't miss when they go off and get the audio up. Computer running a little slow, but that's okay. Just a quick update with the tourney, David.
Yeah, let me take a look at that leaderboard.
Looks like Jeff Soto in the lead at 62.70. Michael Brenner, $60.80. Lou Catalano at 57.40. So, David, you're in fifth with 47.70. You need to come up with something that the 4 people ahead of you do not have. So
Right. Now, once we analyze and make our picks for the Preakness, and when you see me with a different horse in the contest, you'll know why. It depends on what the odds are. And I think right now the horse I actually like is 4 to 1-ish. And that would get me, probably not enough because when I'm at 5th position, I don't want to be 3rd with the price. I'd rather be 2nd. So I want to try to get up to 1st. So I'm just going to make, and again, I'm giving away to the top 4, but I mean, this is for fun, right? So there is some money on the line, but I mean, if this was the NHC, I wouldn't give out my horse. I mean, if this was the final table and I'm on a live broadcast, I'm going to go a little mum on this, but we can have some fun with it.
I hear you. All right, let's take a look at Churchill real quick, so folks can get some bets in, and then I'll talk a little bit about the book that I'm gonna pump here. All right, so we're on the turf here, David. 8.5 furlongs, maiden special weight, $120,000 purse, 3-year-olds and up. The 2 green light, silver horse to watch. Let's see how the race sim plays out here, and then you can give us your thoughts on this one. The race sim killed the Derby, the back half of the card for sure. Let me get Churchill up here. It's got the 2 just cruising along and nobody really closing. And 50% on the win percentage here for that. When you sort them by win percentage, which is one thing that I love to do with this, is that you can sort them by pace, by GSR, by strength of race, by win percentage. And the thing you're going to see here is the 2 is there all the way. In a race like this, David, and look, you got 3-star works here in May. Bruno liked that one. He liked that one. I love that we get the race replays in here as well. You can kind of watch those on your own when you if you're a monthly or an annual subscriber. But your thoughts here?
Yeah, I thought Green Light was going to be very, very difficult to beat based on my perusal of this race. But if you could just pull up Sardis, the 6 horse, the PPs, I seem to be missing something here on this because my phone is getting. I'm multitasking between my Android and my laptop, and my Android seems to be dying, and I got to run and get the charger in a minute.
Mike Maker,
the Mike Maker horse, and yeah, this horse has been on the. Has this horse been on the turf before?
This horse is all dirt, first turf.
Okay, that's one of my angles. Okay, and the breeding. What do we have for a GSR? Because I did have some.
GSR is a 76 in the last race, 8.5 on the dirt, and it drops to a 72, which is in line. The strength of race here today is 48. Last out was 54. That all seems to be in line here. The horse seems to be working well and doing okay. But has been at Turfway Park and comes over here to Churchill to get onto the grass.
Right. That's normally a play for me if the other horses who have tried turf before in the race have spotty form and then no world beaters in the race. However, Green Light to me looks very tough. But still, with that being said, I'm gonna try to get the 5 in the number somehow. So Sardis for me, I just love that angle. That's worked over the years for me. It also worked at the NHC in 2022 with like 3 different horses, first time turf that were prices. So I always go back to a method that's worked for me. And again, a race like this, I don't think the 2 is a lock, but it's going to be very difficult to beat. But in that case, especially if this was a tournament race, I'd reach out with with Sardis, the 6, and we're getting 5 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me go with that. And normally for real money, if I'm doing that, if I'm playing the 6 Sardis at the NHC, I would back it up with real money with a nice exacta 2 over the 6. So try to back that up. So
you're going to load up here. I've got the audio queued up. The one thing I will tell you is the curse of death for me is when Harley, the pony horse, is on my horse.
And the horses have reached the starting gate. It's
I gotcha. Good luck, everybody.
Waiting for Cloudy Holiday, Sugar Hook. Call me Cassius, Bookie Brent, and Exarban Derby. They're in the gate. And they're off. Green light toward the inside, breaks right out in stride. Unbridled Pleasure with good speed there. Sugar Hook comes on for the outside as Cloudy Holiday tucks in behind. Spin It is up close. Call Me Cassius is on the extreme outside. Farther out is Bookie Brent, very wide. Accident comes up on through 2. So they hit the first turn, and from the inside post, Unbridled Pleasure cuts the corner and grabs the upper hand. Green Light's gonna stalk in second. Sugar Hook tucks away neatly for the inside, running along in third, only 2 lengths off the lead as they head for the backstretch run. Accident moves up on the outside. 4th, Spin It is now 5th. Cloudy Holiday racing 6th. Call Me Cassius in 7th. Cabernado toward the inside 8th by 2. Bookie Brent's back in 9th. Exarban Derby's racing in 10th by another 4. And Sardis is the trailer down the backstretch run. And the pace up top is soft, 23-4 for an opening quarter to a 49-3.5. So they head for the far turn. Green Light, Unbridled Pleasure continue to go head-to-head for the lead. Right in behind them is Sugar Hook, and to their outside is Spin It. They're 3rd and 4th and sent on for speed. Cloudy Holiday slips through underneath. Here comes Cloudy Holiday down inside, needs to find a way through now. Wide on the track is Accident, the rest with work to do, and a quarter mile to do it as Green Light has taken charge and suddenly put 3 lengths on the field. They're off the turn. Green Light in front by 4 now. Cloudy Holiday clear sailing, but is now 5 lengths behind in second. Sugar Hook is racing third. Cabernado toward the inside fourth. No doubt about first.
Wow.
It's Green Light who wins by 10 on the wire. Cloudy Holiday was second. Tight for third. Sugar Hook or Cabernado.
Well, that was a runaway, wasn't it?
Yep. Kind of figured it'd be difficult to beat. Yeah, that makes sense. It was the lone speed on paper, right? And it's the way it worked out.
All right. Well, we've got over at Santa Anita, we got a maiden special weight here. Fillies and Mares 3 to 5, $54,000 purse. Well funded is the favorite here. We'll run the simulator. Make sure I'm sharing. I am. See if there's any way they can beat this one here. Only 27% on the win percentage. The 2 at 8 to 1, and I like that morning line morning line versus the track morning line there. And
Chris, just excuse me a second. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Got the six on top here at 19%. The GSR is going down, so let's take a look at the 6 here. Just doing maintenance drills for George. Gets Umberto, who is not in Pimlico. He did run, I believe, in the Derby Day out there, if I recall correctly. But 68 to a 54, cutting back to a sprint here. And when you go back to the sprints that had earlier on, back in December, when the meet started in January, and then went longer and seemed to do a little bit better, kind of had some trouble and whatnot. So not sold on the 6 altogether. The 1 is the second pick. Bob gets Edwin, which is interesting that he's putting him on this horse, which tells me they're just going to go straight to the lead. Been working well. We got a couple of notes here. I like to look at some of these notes here. This one worked with imagination. Wouldn't be a surprise, and I'm not surprised that it is the favorite as well. Applefest, the other Baffert with 1. This may be the one to look at, especially if you're going to get 8 to 1 here. Those other Bafferts certainly will creep up from time to time and do something there. So the 8 is the long shot. Mark Klatt. That's his stats off the layoff. 75 days, 23% out of 159. Wouldn't sleep on this one, but this one also could get caught up in a pace duel with Edwin on the 1, which could lead you to one of those other horses underneath here. The 3, 4 to 1, 7 to 2 morning line for Doug Frazier, riding well as always. Doug at 14% on this angle here. So Fire Band, we didn't talk about that one. First time starter here. The West Coast anchor, Tyler Bays, with a low percentage trainer here that I'm not familiar with. 3.5 lengths back here. That's probably hard to predict given the fact that the horse is a first time starter, but certainly going to be off the pace. I don't know if it's going to be that far back. We'll take a quick look here at any changes. That Lasix on for the 3. Off turf cuts back on the 1. And the other first time starter is the 7, the other Buffalo horse for Golden Motto and Kyle Frey. Kyle running, obviously riding well. The morning line angle here doesn't support it. We don't have any real good clocking reports here because it's out at Santa Anita. So Let me get that race ready to roll here. Gulfstream is done. We're down to Santa Anita. We've got 26 minutes, they're saying, until the Pimlico race. So let me get this one up on the screen. And then we'll talk a little bit about the book that I want to share with you guys. For those of you that aren't in the chat or weren't on last night, you guys have already heard it before, but you're going to hear it again. Let me get this going here. Get that rolling. All right. This is what you guys should order. A Better Way of Thinking. Book by Matt Miller. How risk and reward have shaped my view of gambling, life, and movie theater popcorn. I'm halfway through it for my third read. Got it on Monday. I met Matt through my friend Brad Anderson. Matt is a Breeders' Cup betting challenge winner when Knicks Go won. And he's responsible for 3 out of the last 5 winners. And he talks about this in his book, that he won one, he backed Brad the year he won, and he backed Drew the year Drew won with Flightline.
Right.
Now, David, you were talking about your NHC stuff and how you hit some of those mandatory races with short prices. These are the prices that Drew won with Flightline. And he was down to $2,200 on his $7,500 bankroll for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Mm-hmm. And these are the horses: Cody's Wish 2-1, Tuesday 4-1, Elite Power 5-1, Modern Game 6-5, Malathat 5-2, and Flightline at 2-5.
Right.
And his goal was to get to the Flightline race with $100,000 to bet on Flightline to win.
Right.
And he got there. He almost got there. He had $97,000 to bet on Flightline, and just obviously was a runaway winner there. But what the book does is a lot of things, Dave, that you talked about today in terms of finding value and really just honing your picks down and not having to go for long shot after long shot after long shot, because those don't win the BCBC.
Correct.
Win the BCBC. Win bets win the BCBC. And going backwards from what's my total, how am I going to get there? All right, we'll talk a little bit more about that after this.
Yes, I'd like to, because I was at the BCBC, the Flightline year, and I actually talked to Matt Miller a couple of times. I met him after my win in 2023. So yeah, we did have a discussion about it.
She's
perfect, because we got time for the Preakness.
Open the front of the door for Desert Rhapsody. And now she's Mooey Mooey. In the gate. And they're off. Bolt Divine is going out for the early lead. Tahini comes away in second. She's Mooey Mooey and Desert Rhapsody not far behind. Applefest is fifth, 4 lengths off the lead. Then Well Funded and Fireband trails. A battle up top as Desert Rhapsody rests a narrow lead from Tahini. And Bolt Divine keeping pace, 3 of them right across the track, with She's Mooey Mooey now 3 off the pace in fourth. They're followed by Applefest, Well Funded, 7 off the lead, and outside of her comes Fireband. Tahini goes on with it, pressed by Bolt Divine to the front. Tahini now second. At the rail, Desert Rhapsody trying to keep pace with the top pair and is doing so. She's Mooey
Jump
Mooey
the
in
eight.
fourth. Then Fireman, Applefest, and Well-Funded Last Eight turn for home. And Bolt
Too wide.
Divine is the one to catch. Leads it by 2 lengths now. At the rail, Desert Rhapsody is in second. Applefest, She's Mooey Mooey on the outside.
Bolt
And
at
Fireman
8
with
to
Tahini.
second.
It's Bolt Divine past the
Now, this horse is winning impressively.
and she is home free. Bolt Divine.
Well, you were right
sparkling
about the fourth, Dave, when you were going there.
romping home by close
That
to
was
9
on
lengths.
the
Fireman completes the exacta 3-way photo among She's Mooey Mooey, Applefest, and
All right, let me remove that. So back to the book, and you can get to the book at abetterwayofthinking.com, and you can spell that either BETTOR or ER, and it'll get you to the same place. But Matt rates himself as a B minus handicapper, right? You know, most of he of the folks that are in his group, he kind of leans on them the most, but really it's coming up with the betting part of it and having opinions on the handicapping end, but more importantly, what is going to get you to the end. And most of those folks that have won in the last 5 years, Matt Miller, Brad Anderson, Marshall Graham, Drew Coatney, and the last one is escaping me at the moment, but they're all ready to go all in at the end, right? They're in it to win it, right? It's a huge sum of money. You know, Drew had $97,000. That's cash money. If you do nothing, you walk away with that. But walking away with the big prize is what is the tempting part of this. And then having the wherewithal to do that, number one, and then building the plan. He talks about priorities. What is your goal? And I should have mentioned this at the start of the day, but like when people start today on Preakness Day, what's your goal? What's your bankroll? And what are you trying to do? What are you trying to get to? Are you starting with $500? Are you trying to get to 10x and get to $5 grand? Are you trying to get to 2,500? If you're a $100 player, are you trying to get from 100 to 3 to 100 to 4? Those are way more important things than handicapping, because you can handicap all you want, and I'll direct you to a line that's in the third paragraph that Peter Thomas Fortail wrote, which is, how am I so sure that betting is more important than handicapping when it comes to horses and sports wagering? It's simple. I know a lot of people with great opinions who are broke. And there's I mean, that is the absolute, you know, that's what we're all here for, right? You're trying to make a little bit of money. Some people are in it for entertainment, which is fine too.
Sure.
And whatnot. But, you know, don't be afraid to play tickets where that are going to be losers most of the time. But if you hit, you're going to get a healthy return. And that's why he talks about how in the early years it was all about the pick six, when it was a $2 wager, and then pick fives when those became in fashion. Now he's like, now I just play pick fives and I use them. I take if I like horses in a 5-race sequence where there's a pick five, I'm going to play it real skinny, but I'm going to play it multiple times, and I'm going to try and hit it a bunch. And I'm not going to use favorites and second choices in every race. So, I'll get you a copy, David, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. When I heard Matt was writing the book, I was really anxious to read it. I didn't realize it came out. Yeah, Matt's a very knowledgeable guy, and I had the good fortune of meeting him, and we had maybe a 15-minute conversation. And I introduced myself to him after in 2023, I think. Actually, and we chatted briefly at the BCBC. But the only thing I want to say about the light, now everybody's got their different approach, right?
Sure.
That year I was in the BCBC also, and you know, I think most people know that I come from a modest background, and I was never. I began as a $2 win place guy. as you have more disposable income over the years, you may increase your denomination. So I was a small-time player per se. Okay, now I'm not going to disclose. It would increase from $2 when placed, but the bottom line is that live money tournaments are completely different than NHC tournaments, right? Mythical money. Win place is basically pick winners, and you need some long shots. Though you're not going to go through 3 days with just playing horses that are like Matt pointed out, who he used in a BCBC. You're not going to get it done. You because if a cap horse or two come out that weekend, you're toast, and it'll be too late to recover. So you've got to throw in some value plays. But he's absolutely correct. I'm on the same page. It depends. You have to be willing to go all in if you want to win it. But the way I look at it, I had a goal that year, and after like halfway through the card, the 7th or 8th, 6th or 7th race, I wanted a certain bankroll, and I tried to get up to that point. Once I don't get to that bankroll, then I am changing how I'm playing. So instead of the large exactas, large win bets, I start going to, hey, you got to get a little luck here. I'll use the key and play a $50 or $100 straight triple or something that's going to get me to that point. Now, I hit the triple in the BCBC, but I was too far behind. I will tell you this. If I had $97,000 going into the last race, Flightline was a special year. We all knew Flightline was not going to lose that race. Nope. I think I would have approached differently because it depends on what your income level is, what your disposable income level is, and what your bankroll is. I mean, there's some people that don't have the bankroll that these guys, Matt Miller and Drew Coatney, do. Where $97,000 is a shitload of money to a lot of people, correct? Where with them, if they lose 97, it's not. I won't say it's not a big deal, but it's not as big as somebody who that would be a lifetime score if they could win $87,000 at the Breeders' Cup. For me, I'd be happy with winning $87,000, and I would probably approach it as saying I was here with a minimum. If I was going to do well, I want to win 50 or 70,000. So I'd take the difference and say, okay, 65, I'm happy as hell with. 50, I'm happy with, and then go in. But very rarely with an amount that large, I'm going to go all in. But Flightline was a different story because that horse was a lock. That horse, I was so fortunate to be there. That's one of the best horses I've ever seen run. But and again, that's not going to guarantee him victory because somebody could have used a $10,000 straight triple that would have nipped him or beat him, right? So
there was somebody that played a straight 10, and they were too far back to get there. A lot of people criticized him and said because Flightline paid more to place than win, and people were like, "Well, you should have just bet him to place." And of course, Marshall Graham, the Rhodes Scholar professor who teaches a class,
economics professor, yes,
quickly pointed out that he did the math, and if he'd have bet him to place, the $10,000 triple guy would have caught him. Okay. Because it would have been too much money in the win pool there. But the mindset that they use is it's not 97,000, it's 10,000. That's what you started with, and that's hard. That's a hard concept for people to get a hold of. And most of you look at the amount of people that enter the BCBC, they're not going to do that because they're not going to go for the win, which is that's the tough thing with these things to do. But there's lots of things in the book where he talks about just play your own BCBC on a Friday or on a Saturday or on a Sunday. Start with 500, figure out where you're going to try and get to, and then get there, right? And practice on that because those are the ways that you can get better. Plus, he's got a bunch of funny stories and things like that in there. But
right. And here's the thing too. I'm in the live money now. I did win a live money tournament at Aqueduct, the Wood Memorial in 2017. Yeah, that was my first seat to the NHC. And the way that I did that in the first 3 or 4 races, I built up an insurmountable lead. I had like 3,500 after 4 races, and in a $500 tournament, and the next person on board had around 1,000. So, to me, that's an enviable place to be in first place that early, and I think that's the way that I feel more comfortable playing. I'll go all in or play a large triple early, only if I like the race. That's the thing. I'm not going to be forced to play in live money contests races that I don't have a really strong opinion about just to be in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the BCBC is a lot different because they're all stakes races. They're all grade ones, right? So we know the horses. We have confidence that they're going to be pretty formful, and but I mean, I'd rather have a huge lead than be chasing and go all in at the end. I'd rather go in all in a couple of races before the last race, especially that flight line race, because I know there was going to be any value. So my goal was to have a lead before that race, but I did not get there. And I figured if I can get 20 to 30,000 by the 6th or 7th race, I'd have a shot. But I'm not going to cry about bad beats, but we've all been there. Had a couple of triples that just missed the nose or head for third, and the triple paid like $12,000, and I had it 20 times. So, but again, that's horse racing, and but no, I agree. I mean, it's what are you willing to risk, and what does the money mean to you? With me, I can't look myself in a mirror after going to a BCBC and not taking the $87,000 profit or $70,000 profit and blow it all and say, $70,000 is a lot of money for me.
Yeah.
Even after the NHC score. I mean, I can't justify going all in, but if you said I'll take 10,000 of that or 20,000, yeah, and then you say, okay, I'm happy with that. As long as you can look yourself in a mirror, and don't forget, it's your bankroll and your disposable discretionary income. If you don't have, if that's the biggest score of your life, tenfold, then you know what you should do. You should keep that money and be conservative in the last race. And people still have to catch you, right? 97,000, you're right there. So it depends on the way you look at it and what your income level, and if you have partners too, and what their financial background is.
And Drew was backed by Brad by Nuclear, and Matt. There was no collusion. They went through all the audit.
Right, and also, so the NHC, the beauty of the NHC is it puts everybody on a level playing field. Mm-hmm. The first year I went, there's an auto mechanic at the table. There's a dishwasher at the table. There's a Wall Street hedge fund investor. There's me, a real estate appraiser. There's a postal delivery guy, mailman. So, but the mailman, the auto mechanic, the real estate appraiser, at that table, we're on the equal playing field with the Wall Street hedge fund guy because he can't use his discretionary income advantage over us because it's mythical win place. That's why I love the NHC. Yep,
100%. Just to put a button on this, David, and we'll move on.
Yes, let's go to the Preakness here. We're getting
asking for info there, but I'll share one thing here that they love to do, which is you look at this race here at Saturday. We talked about this Magic Account, co-second favorite, 2-1. Right, wins the race, and then you look at the next race, which is the favorite here at Dr. Soulfire, and people complain about chalk. Well, there's 7.5 to 1 that's just easy taken, right? Those are the ones in those types of contests that you want to get to. But let's get over to what everybody wants to see and talk about. We've talked about it a bunch already, but let's get to the Preakness. David, I'm going to run the simulator and give me your thoughts on the race.
Okay. Interested to see what the simulator shows, but this race with the scratch of Muth has just totally changed my opinion of the race. Obviously, I thought Muth was basically lock, wire to wire. So now the other speed's gone, right? Muth was the speed. The other speed in the race is another Baffert horse. Surprise, it's Imagination. when I get loan speed, I don't care if I'm looking at this like it's an allowance race. Don't worry about us, the Preakness or a grade 1, what have you. If I can, to me, he looks like the loan speed. Okay. Now I know the knocks on Imagination. Comes out of the Santa Anita Derby. Stronghold, he was a favorite. He battled down a stretch and lost that race by a neck. He only won the San Felipe by a head. Okay, he's in tight finishes. He won the optional allowance, $100,000 claimer by a neck. The only race he's really won with any ground to spare is a maiden special weight at a mile. He's faced 4-horse fields and 5-horse fields. I understand all that, but he's working well. It's Baffert, has won the Preakness 8 times. There's no world beaters in here, in my opinion, even though the Derby was, there's decent horses there. I'm not sold on Catching Freedom. To me, that horse comes from too far back. Tuscan Gold could move up with Chad Brown. However, I think that may be more of a Travers horse. I don't think this is the greatest field. Mystic Dan got a perfect trip coming up the rail. But then again, there's few horses in here that he might get a perfect trip this time. So it's not the challenge that he had in the Derby. With that being said, I don't like the Lucas horses particularly, so I'm all over Imagination going wire to wire. I just can't see anybody really keeping up with this horse. Now, the question is, does he really want to go a mile and 3/16? I'll take that chance, and I'll use Imagination over Mystic Dan. And the other horse that I was trying to get into the money on only if the track was off, which would be muddy or sloppy, is sloppy track. Uncle Heavy moves up on a sloppy track. Now, 7-1 to me is ridiculous on this horse.
Yeah.
This horse should be 15 or 20-1. So that's going to take me off that horse a little bit. I mean, you got Irad Ortiz, right? If you don't know horse racing, but if you're a New York guy, you play a couple of races, Irad Ortiz. He wins everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's up in Saratoga, he's winning everything. He picks up the mount. I think this horse has a chance to hit the board on a sloppy track. I don't like the 7-1. I mean, at that price, I take Just Steel or the Lucas horses are 9-1. They shouldn't be higher in odds than the two. Uncle Heavy should be the longest shot in the field, and it's not the case. And sometimes you find that on big days where names are bad. People, there's novice money in there. So with that being said, I'm on Imagination going wire to wire. I'm going to try to get Uncle Heavy second or third, and also Mystic Dan. So it's 9 over the 5-2, and Catching Freedom would be my other horse for the super. Not really sold on Tuscan Gold, but if I can get Uncle Heavy in there, it'll make some money. So Imagination. Who you like, Chris?
I had Cista Gray in the Pat Day Mile, cashed a nice ticket there at 9-1. My racehorse, which is going to obviously cost it to get bet. I was happy that day that I got the price that I felt like I wanted there. Arrogate, Lucas. I think the horse has got a good look here. I'll be honest with you, I'm not heavily invested in this race. I learned a long time ago that the Derby is where you kind of go to fire, and then the Preakness is kind of where you're more of a fan. I've found a lot of those cards to be very formful. You don't get quite the money. You don't get near the money that you get in the pools and whatnot, and you end up with somewhat formful results. Like, what's the biggest price that you remember in the Preakness in the last 10 years? Anything? Does anything come to mind?
Yeah, $12 maybe. Yeah.
I mean, there's no Sonny Leone winning on Rich Strike. There's none of those, right?
No Mind That Bird.
Yeah. Well, what was the last 20-1 horse? And we don't even have a 20-1 horse here. The biggest shot you've got right now is the one. It's 16-1. So this is more like an everyday race, so to speak, with a lukewarm favorite. And you've got to figure out, if you're gambling on this race, you got to figure out what you're going to do and how you're going to invest in it. And that's just kind of the way it works for me. So they're dancing around here. We got 1 minute to post. It looks like I've read that the track is slop, is what Scott Free is telling us.
Alcohol Heavy has a chance to hit the board if that's the case. And geez, I thought I was going to get 15 or 18 to 1 and huge exacta, but that's just not going to happen. But Chris, I'll just tell you this really quick. I approach it differently. The Derby's the race that I don't really have much interest in. It's an event, and I love the Derby, but to me, I keep my hands in my pocket for that particular race. The undercard's a little different story. I don't want to bet on 20 horse fields, in all honesty, any major dollars. I just think first of all, I don't think any horse in North America should be 20 horses. But that being said, I love the Derby. But I just look back on the past, how many winners and how many profitable days I've had, and it's really not. It's just to me, it's an entertainment play. Pimlico is more of a serious play for me. Also, the Belmont. Then I'm a New York guy, and what I'll do is I'll just use my serious bets for the Preakness and Belmont because they're smaller fields. I can hit a nice straight exacta. I don't have to worry about as many traffic issues. I can't begin to tell you how many derbies I have great horses and they got shut off multiple times. It's a cavalry charge coming down the stretch. I love the race, but I kind of tread lightly on the Derby, so I'm a little different. And that's the beauty. Every horse player has a different idea, different technique, different method, right? So, so here we go. This is I'm very successful at Preaknesses. So
I agree with you. The Derby, the race itself, isn't ever gonna get a lot of my handle. I'll make a couple of win bets or a couple of exactas on that race. Right. I typically don't play any pick fives anymore at the end there. Those are just heartbreak city for me, or pick fours. But the rest of the undercard stuff, you can find great doubles. You can find great win bets. You can find great exactas and things like that you can fire on. But I'm not going nuts on that one single race. I got lucky this time and ended up with Mystic Dan, and I forget who I had the other win bet on, and I hit that one, and it helped make the day a little bit better. But I didn't have any doubles going into that or pick threes or anything else because, like you said, I watched our chat group and everybody else that's involved in horse racing handicap the living shit out of that race, and it's like that race is like most of them. I mean, most of this to me is 25 to 30, 40% handicapping at best. And the rest of it is how are you going to bet it? Because you could give people winners tomorrow and they still wouldn't be able to figure out how to maximize the amount of pain that you can extract out of that in profit. And that's what high level poker players do. And that's also what the upper end people that enter the bigger contests get to.
Correct.
And back to the flight line discussion, if you don't want to have to end up betting $97,000 on flight line, which by the way took 20 minutes to enter all those tickets in at $500 increments, then don't enter it. Take the $7,500, play the contest, get to the flight line race, get your $97,000, and then just sit back and watch and be a fan and watch a horse destroy the field. Right. Yep. You don't have to worry about having any risk there.
Hey, listen, I'd take an $87,000 profit at the BCBC any year, any day of the week, any year. Yep. So it's just the way you look at it. But I will tell you this, the Derby also, don't get me wrong, there's huge opportunities because you can hit a superfecta and win $200,000. I mean, so much money in the pool, but in my opinion, if every race we bet was 20 horses, I mean, I think I'd lose my mind. So I'm just going to watch it on the big screen here, and I'll be back with you. Good luck, everybody. I like Imagination Wire to Wire with Uncle Heavy and Mystic Dan in the exact.
Somebody in our chat group, David, that played a $384 super high five here with the 39 in first place.
All right, there we go.
Imagination.
All right, good luck. I'll be back to
Set.
discuss in about 2 minutes.
And they're off in the Preakness. And a great start. Imagination goes for the lead, but sees the gray, wants a piece of the action early. Mystic Dan came away in good order, will settle one off the inside and Just Steal. Here's Catching Freedom, racing on the inside. Tuscan Gold, third to last. Uncle Heavy and Mugatu trails the field as Sees the Gray down to the rail, leads the way into the first turn here at Pimlico. With Imagination a bit out toward the center of the track on the chase, will now settle back and ready a bit in second spot. Mystic Dan is riding that rail under Brian Hernandez early, and on the outside is Just Steal right alongside. Catching Freedom, 6 lengths on the early pace. Tuscan Gold ridden along as they round that turn and head for the 6 for a long mark. Uncle Heavy second to last, and Muga to the opening quarter, 23-4 on this muddy track. As Sees the Gray goes forward up front, showing the way is Sees the Gray. 5 furlongs out from the line, leads a length and 3/4 from Imagination in second. Just Steal, Mystic Dan still at the rail, racing in fourth in good striking range. And next is Catching Freedom, who's got 6 to make up, heading over the far turn. Tuscan Gold asks for more. Uncle Heavy and Muga 2, but it Sees the Gray in front, still in front by 3. Mystic Dan rolling up on the inside now. On the outside is Just Steal coming too, and in between horses Imagination and Catching Freedom also looms large at the top of the stretch with a quarter to go at Pimlico, and leading the way is Sees the Gray. Sees the Gray trying to lead them all the way. Sees the Gray, and here's Mystic Dan tipping to the outside. Mystic Dan's coming with a run at the 3/16, but still in front of Sees the Gray. Sees the Gray and Jaime Torres in front. Mystic Dan, Brian Hernandez Jr. Catching Freedom on the outside with a late bid. It Sees the Gray in front by 2, shifting out a little bit under left-handed pressure as they're close to home in the Preakness. Sees the Gray. Oh, Jaime Torres sees the day to win the 149th running of the Preakness with Mystic Dan or Catching Freedom. And then it was Tuscan Gold, Just Steal, Uncle Heavy, followed by Imagination.
Well, Dwayne Lucas here gets it done.
Well,
right?
We did have a wire-to-wire winner, right? I was right about that, but I have to tell you, I'm going to watch the replay of the start and everything, but what was Frankie Dettori doing? That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You can't go that wide. I don't. Maybe the horse wasn't handling the track, but congrats to Dwayne Lucas. The speed, there was no speed in the race. It's and there we go. He got a clear lead, and pretty easy fractions, and says bids goodbye to the rest of the field. Good job. Good job.
Yeah, that was a pretty good ride there on the Scotty Longshot was the winner.
Yes, it was
in the Derby. So if you're going to bet that, that would have been pretty nice. Taking a quick look, David, at the contest. Jeff Soto, the leader, had Mystic Dan at which he'll get place money for. The second and third place finishers, the second and third place in the contest, they both had Catching Freedom. Fourth place had Just Steal. David Harrison had the 9 Imagination, so you can imagine his. Now, the interesting thing is Andy Kirk in 14th place is the closest one with Sees the Gray. He had $30.90, David.
He's going to get rid of another $30.
So he is probably going to end up, he could end up in second. I think Jeff Soto is going to end up winning the contest. And congrats.
Now, who did Jeff have? The 5? Mr.
Jeff
Dan?
had the 5. So he's going to get that place money.
Right.
And Andy really needed the 8 to get up there because nobody really had the 8, which would have got him a little bit more place money. But still, good race. Ended up with a sloppy track. Yeah, Vamp. We're having. I've got, like I said, we usually run the video out of the cloud, and we had security issues and had to destroy that instance. So I having to do it local, which means it gets a little choppy. But we'll get that fixed next week, by next Saturday, and certainly by the Belmont. But Thanks everybody for joining. Hit that like button on your way out. David, always a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you so much. Yep, had a blast, and good luck to everybody. Yeah, and congratulations to Seize the Gray. Like I said, the paceless race is hard to resist lone speed, and just didn't get the right horse on the lead. And perfect ride, perfect decision. I didn't think this horse was fast enough, but thanks so much to everybody. Thanks for listening in, and I had a blast, and we'll catch you again.
David, we'll do more of this during the summer, and we'll get a focus on the contest too, because I think that's super fun. We'd like to get more people in there and participate, even if we're just doing it for $10, right? You don't have to risk a lot of money, and if we get 40, 50, 100 people in there, those are gonna be fun, and you can get. I mean, even today, if you got in for 10, you got 10 to 1 on your money, and you had 4.5 hours to handicap and bet with us. But thanks everybody. Have a good week. We'll see you next Saturday.
Okay, and to everyone, the horse players out there, may the horse be with you. I don't have any to throw up in the air at this point. I can't throw up my laptop. Thanks again, everybody, and we'll catch you again.